Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy live stream. We do this every Friday if you are new here, and we share our energies, we ask juicy questions, and we just take a time to connect with like-minded and like-hearted individuals from all across the globe. Welcome. So today we have a juicy reading. I had this epiphany this week where I was like, all of my, I'm a Gemini, it's an air sign, it's a communicative sign, and I used to do a lot more gossipy readings, like what have they heard about you? What have they said about you? So I was like, why haven't I done that in so long? So today we're doing what have they heard about you, and just a spoiler alert, next Friday we're going to do what are they saying about you to like the people around them, your coworkers, their friends, their family, something here like that, because I haven't done that in so long. I feel like that's like my bread and butter. That's like, I don't know. It just shocked me. So today we are doing what have they heard about you? And I always like to give a preface with these ones that just because someone has said it about you, just because somebody has heard it about you, it doesn't make it true. First of all, because as we know, the brain is a very complicated thing. Psychology is a very complicated thing because it's a mixture of the truth. It's a mixture of our just like measurable observations that we genuinely are seeing around us, but it's also a mixture of our emotions, the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we feel about the situation. And sometimes we can look at those things directly and sometimes we can't. And when we can't look at ourselves and other people directly, the mind has ways of protecting us, which is a fancy way of saying it has ways of kind of warping reality to make it more palatable to us, to ourselves, so we don't have to like update our own self-image. But also if we know that something might be like socially taboo or something, we might say something like if this person's heard certain things, we might say something that's not true in order to deflect or something. And it doesn't always have to be like coming from a super nefarious, clandestine, somebody like comically wearing a trench coat, holding a dagger. Like it doesn't always have to come from that. We're all guilty of this. It's just part of human nature. So I just like to remind you of that, to kind of take the sting out of any triggers. It might hurt to hear what some people have been saying about you and what this person's heard about you, but just remember who you are. That's the important thing, I feel. Living a human life, we learn so many different things, but part of being a social species, I feel like, is just at some point you have to accept that this that I just described, this is going on within every human being all around you. And so it makes for, if you've ever been on a lake or in the ocean or something, it makes for waves kind of not just coming in from one direction, but if a boat drives by, their wake is going to bring waves in from this side, and over here it's going to, and it's just this kind of, there's waves all around us that are kind of affecting us. And at some point, I feel like that's because life is trying to help us figure out who we are, stand strong in the knowing of who we are, despite other people's perception of us. And also other people's perception of us may unlock some kernel, some grain of truth about ourselves that we might not have been able to see, because looking at it from our first person point of view, it might actually miss something that somebody else is feeling. So there's a lot of good and understanding that can come from doing readings like this. And I just want to preface that so that you can make the most out of this reading, and also so that you can be kind and gentle, compassionate with yourself, and not forget to stand in the knowing of who you know yourself to be. And at the very least, your intentions. Like even if we can't always follow through on our intentions and our values, because it does take a certain amount of skill, then allow that to just like reinforce your determination to do just that. So with that very extremely long-winded preface, let us dive in to this reading, but not a moment before we compassion ourselves after that. So compassion, compassion, compassion. This is a prayer wheel for those of you who are going to ask. But yeah, this is a prayer wheel. It's got prayers written on it in Tibetan script, and this is Om Mani Padme Hum. And some of you may want to look that up, the Bij sounds, but it's really like the steps to enlightenment, and it is like, it's a compassionate mantra. So, oh my gosh, Free Queen C just said, "You look great, Jess." Thank you so much for saying that, because I was feeling like a little off balance, like before I went live. Thanks. Okay, so moving on, we've got our 3 piles here today, as per usual. And actually, we do have an anchor card. So this is the flash of the piles, but we do have an anchor card. This is not one of the choices. This is like a common energy that goes into every single pile, and it is the Bardo. Dang, sometimes I look at these cards on the screen and I'm like, these look so crisp. Like they look better than they do in real life. So that might be something. But yeah, that's the Bardo energy, because I know a lot of us are intuitive, and I feel like we all just kind of read tarot for each other. That's what I love about the Tarot Collective. It's very feminine in that way. It's not centralized. You know, we all are our own little specks. So I know a lot of people like to read the energy too. And I feel like that's how we tweeze in to the message. And so that's the anchor card, if you're reading right along with me. And here are our actual choices, and you can see that we've got 3 of them. So pile number 1 is the eternal child. Dang, these cards are looking so crisp to me. I feel like that must be like a message or something. Pile 2 is the judge. Here. And oh, no. Somebody is saying, pop culture reference, I always remember the prayer from Tina Turner movie with Angela Bassett. Yeah, that was another Buddhist chant. Nom Renke Pyo. That was actually the first mantra I think that I ever learned. I learned that one before I even went to Rengenkyo. I know it ends in like Rengenkyo. And she said that every single day and that her life changed. And you know what's funny? I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. Is I said that every single day and then I ended up going to Omega and my life really did change. Crazy. Anyways, okay, pile number 3. This is part of the charm of doing a live reading is sometimes we go off on little tangents. Okay, so the prayer is pile number 3. Nam Yoho Rengenkyo. Yeah, thank you. Nam Yoho. What is it? Nam Yoho Rengenkyo. Yeah. Wow, love it. Yeah. I love that movie too. I love Tina Turner. I just love her energy. Tina Turner just looks like she was just like a fiery little speck that literally like flicked off of the sun and landed on the planet. Like to me, that's what she's like, so bright and like electric. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Yeah. I chanted a little. Nice. Okay, so we'll put all 3 of these up here. And if you haven't already chosen your pile, now's the time to do that. Even if you have, it's a good time to just allow your energy to drop. I like to just do a little meditation here. And just as a reminder, and I like to remind us of this every single week that we do this, that one full breath can be a meditation because our lives are so busy and there's so many demands on us and a lot of stresses that sometimes even just like when you go to the toilet in the middle of the day, you know, like if you can just pause and like take one full breath, a lot of times that can be enough to just calm your energy, bring you back to center. So I like to do that obviously before choosing the piles, but now's like a good time to do that. I like to put my hands over my heart and close my eyes, turn the gaze inwards, and just breathe. I like to take one full deep breath, and then I like to just let my breath go naturally and just kind of follow where it is and feel comforted by my own heartbeat, my own rhythms. It's also a good time to just give thanks to yourself and to your body and to all of the interconnected systems and all of your cells and everything that's just working so hard on a day-to-day basis to keep you alive and to keep you healthy and to help you repair and all of that stuff. Our bodies are always giving us so much love. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and connect in with whatever pile or multiple piles you feel drawn to. Keeping in mind that that can sometimes be a message in and of itself. For instance, if you ever go through one of those stretches where it feels like you're just always drawn into the wrong pile, it could be trying to tell you something like, pause, take a step back, reconsider, because maybe you're so busy that you're like rushing through and you can't actually connect with your intuition. And then when you choose like the second pile, that ends up being it. Or sometimes maybe it's like the third pile. So it could be telling you that your intuition's off in the situation, or that maybe you don't know how to look at this situation, that you're possibly missing something. Because maybe the color is what's actually drawing you into the pile instead of your intuition. But it can be little things like that. I like to just, not all the time, because I don't want to be like a paranoid person where I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Because I'm too prone to that. Like just kind of I like for it to have focus, and sometimes that can work against me. But at least in the readings, I like to just set this space as like, I'm open to communing with spirit and we're divining here, right? We're divining messages. And so anything that comes through for me, at least in these readings, can be trying to illuminate something or share something of importance to us. So all right, so if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and go to pile number 1, which is the eternal child. Pile number 1, what have they heard about you? Let me just take a little drink of my beverage. So what have they heard about you? I'm going to pull some cards here. Okay, actually I'm reaching to messages, so this person could have heard a message about you. Okay, it says, I'm communicating with my eye contact. I feel like this person has maybe a question about what your eye contact meant. Maybe this person has like tried to seek out that information. I picture a world where we can be together. There's a side to me I'm not sure you would understand. Okay, so with the I'm communicating with my eye contact, I just saw this person like kind of having puppy dog eyes. Like this person may look like sad or ashamed, or like they're feeling, I think this person's feeling trepidatious to approach you. And so I think this person, I think this person really is like listening out, and I'm kind of getting them listening on the periphery. Like their ears really perk up whenever they hear your name or whenever they hear anything about you. They're really tuned into your energy too. I think this person pays more attention to you, because I'm kind of getting this person trying to like listen to overhear things that you're saying to other people, to try to just gauge where you're at, you know, what you're thinking about, if you say anything about them, if you say anything about your life in general. This person's like really trained into you. Why is this so hard? Yeah, I think this person is wanting to bridge a gap here. They're wanting to communicate something to you. They're wanting to have a communication. There's like messaging energy here. So this person may want to send you a message, but it's like, I'm seeing this person like go to do it and like their hands are shaking and they're like, why is this so hard? I just heard, fuck, why is this so hard? This person may not struggle to communicate, but I feel like there's inner child wounding, like with this eternal child. And I always notice like the little hands here, like look at those little hands. They seem so, well, not really when I held it up there, but when I looked at it, it seemed so kind of unsure. You know, like when somebody kind of holds their hands in the middle, like they're unsure. This person's feeling really unsure about, like, there's something here. I just heard, I'm sorry. You know, would you yell at me? Would you tell me to leave? Would you hear me out? Kind of thing. Like this person's wanting to communicate something here. Money and status are the truest loves of my life. Okay, so there could be something here about money. And I think there's a side to me I'm not sure that you would understand. And that could have something here to do with money and status and their inability to let go of that, or why they did something is what I'm getting, is because they were chasing the bag is what I'm hearing. They were chasing the bag, or they were chasing some kind of status or like reputational energy. But I feel like you could have been harmed, neglected, abandoned, disrespected in this process. And this person, I think, wants to explain it, but they kind of know that there's no explanation. I know that this is about what this person's heard about you, but I feel like this person has not heard anything enough about you. And I feel like this is more like why they're listening in. They're really attuned and they want to bridge that gap. But yeah, I think that this person, they did something for some reason that they don't think that you will understand. And I think for some of you, this person's very intimidated by your energy, because I just heard divine being. So like, and I just saw fire too, like, and I saw like a lion. So there's this strength, there's this divinity, there's this nobility here to you. And this person doesn't feel, I don't feel like this person's like a weasel necessarily, although they have, this person's, I just heard they're in denial about something here, because they did some weasel shit, but like they didn't do it for like sadism. They didn't do it to like get the kicks out of it. But I feel like this person's driven by something that they don't fully understand themselves, actually. And it feels like an insecurity. It feels like I feel less than. It feels like I have to have this thing to feel okay and to prop up my energy. I actually feel like that's why Spirit brought the two of you together, is to stare in this divine mirror, because this person was meant to connect with their nobility, and to connect with their own strength. And I feel like this would be a paradox point for this person. There's some kind of irony where they tap their own resource and they're not in lack. This person gives me hungry ghost energy, where they're in this kind of purgatorial energy where they're kind of just always like chasing certain things instead of learning how to be okay with themselves. And I just said that at the beginning of this reading. Okay, we got more here. I want to make your wishes come true. Oh, I heard something about you. It got me thinking. I'm going to leave that out. And I try to show off for you. Yeah, this person really is trying to get your attention. I think they want you to bridge the gap, because this person doesn't know if it's okay for them to approach you. And I think they may have heard something about you that either made them feel this way, like, oh, well, it might not actually be okay for me to approach them, or something that they're curious. This person is curious and they want to know more, and they want to bridge this gap. They want to have a conversation. They want to be able to ask you questions. And But they also recognize that this connection is in a period of transition. And I think that's why this person's feeling unsure and they're feeling confused. I just heard that this relationship was not supposed to be in transition. This person was supposed to be in transition. In regards of your energy, they were supposed to make a change. And if this person didn't make that change, then your relationship has to change because they had this opportunity. I just saw two people like hold each other's hands like on the bardo, like for you to kind of help, not through trying to help, but just usher this person through the bardo, through making this kind of change. And weirdly, I do feel like people siphon off of this person's energy in a way that they don't understand when they're in this energy. Okay, so let me just see what this person has heard about you. They've heard that you're working on yourself is what I just heard. And this person is working on themselves. They want to tell, this is more like what they want to tell you. Because, okay, I feel like the reason this message is coming out like this, they want to tell you that they're not the same person. Not only does this person want to apologize, they want to say, I've learned my lesson and I would never do that to you again. And I think it's up to you whether or not you believe this person. And maybe that's why it's like, I'm hearing this person say, I am trying to hear things about you. And I'm trying to read between the lines. I'm trying to hear what's not said. But this person is stuck in this like no man's land. They're not hearing the thing that they want to hear about you. This person is curious about you. They're like trying, they're like a sponge that's like trying to soak up information about you. And that's when they're around you and they're trying to read your body language and they're trying to like see who you're talking to and they're trying to hear like, are you mad? What kinds of things are you talking about? But I'm kind of getting the sense that you're not letting on that you know anything and you're not letting on that anything is wrong because I think you have that's your way of having your walls up where you're like, oh, 100% you're approaching me. I'm not doing any of the work here for you because you've done quite enough. Like there seems to be like, or I don't really trust you anymore. That's what I heard. I don't really trust you. I don't trust the words that come out of your mouth. So I'm not really interested in having a conversation. It seems like an exercise in futility, you know, kind of a thing. Because you've already proven to me. I think this is a person who's already proven to you that they will lie to you. The grass is greener. Okay. So, and healing ex-lover. Okay. So this could be an ex. They're trying to hear if you've healed from them and if you're moving on and if you found like a better option where the grass is greener. Or if you still, I just heard, do you love me too? Like, do you still love me too? Do you still like, because this feels like a connection where you're both stuck on each other for reasons that don't make sense. And I think this person is actually feeling very jealous. They also potentially are trying to hear if you're jealous or if you're angry. So potentially this person could have like, they could be wanting to heal a rift, like if this person like hooked up with an ex or tried to make you jealous. Because I feel like for some of you, this person could have tried to make you jealous and they're trying to hear if you are jealous because this is this insecurity shit. Instead of just like dealing with something directly, they're trying to like piss you off and then they're listening to see like, are you jealous? Are you mad? And if you're mad, this person's going to come in and then be the healing balm. This is an abusive technique. Let's just not mince words here. And I feel like that's what you need to hear from this person is I have learned a social skill. I've learned a single social skill where I don't have to do this kind of weird shit where I'm not about harming people. Because this person may not have meant to abuse you, but this is abusive. Like let's not mince words. So I think that's what this person is trying to figure out. And I think that for some of you, I think they may want to tell you that the grass wasn't greener or that like whatever this person took a chance on having, it wasn't worth it. Like they want to talk about like this crossroads. They want to tell you about their intuition, that their intuition told them not to do it. But it's like they don't know if like something here is like okay for them to approach you. They really don't. Because I feel like you're giving nothing away. Good job. Some of you are gray rocking because you know what it means when you gray rock. Because you really don't think this person is a safe person. And they're not behaving like a safe person. I can see that this is coming from an incredible place of insecurity. But narcissism is a disease of insecurity. So I just don't know how far it goes. You know, this could be like a one-off thing where it's like, for some reason in this one instance, this person has like just no social skills, or nobility. You know, it's what I want to say. Or for some of you, this is more of like a chronic, long-standing pattern. And I think actually you don't know that for sure. And I think you're both listening to each other actually very hard because you're trying to listen like, do you have a scruple? Do you have a single scruple? sir or madam, because if you have no scruples about this situation, I want you so far away from me because you are a dangerous person. And that's why I think Spirit is encouraging you to stay away from this person. Spirit is encouraging you to stand your ground because this is an unsafe person. Whatever this person did to you, it was unsafe. It put you in an unsafe situation emotionally, physically, financially, or otherwise. And so this person has to make it known that they are a safe person, because what they did, it's like, as I'm using these words, like it was abusive. Let's not mince words about this. So if you would like to have a conversation, you have to prove that you're like a civilized person that can have a conversation and be trusted in that conversation, because you don't want to see a performance. You don't want to see their best performance of a sane, decent person. It's like they lost traction here. Like in terms of their actions and their words lining up. When someone's actions and their words line up, you can have the conversation. You can do the diplomacy. You can work something out via words. When they're a liar, or a hypocrite, when their actions and their words do not line up, this will not be solved through conversation. There needs to be a demonstration here, and I feel like this person needs to tuck tail, and they need to have some kind of humility here. Maybe they need to cry. They need to show you that they are affected by their bad decision. And if they don't do that, this cannot be mended. It cannot be any other way. So I feel like this person's trying to save face. They're trying to save their pride. They're trying to avoid the reaction that they've very well earned coming from you. They're trying to like sidestep all of this, and it's causing more problems. I just heard they always do more harm than good. And this is just coming from this like this is a hyperactive way of being passive, because this person is just like sitting in their anxiety. It's like they're always vibrating, but they don't do anything. Like this is and I'm feeling that sour feeling in my stomach, when you get like super anxious. There's a lot going on within this person. But if they're not, for some of you, you kind of wonder if this person has feelings, if they have a moral in sight, if they have a scruple in sight, if they have a feeling in sight, and they just don't really understand that. So liquid courage. This person may want to they're waiting to get like a boost of courage. They need courage to kind of approach you or send you this text message here. But sending you the text message, it seems like is in like the Bardo region of like, I don't know what's going to happen, but this relationship is in a place where it's in transition. But what transition? Because if they're not going to show you that they're a safe person and that they are going to back their words up with their actions, and that they understand that that's a fundamental building block if you're going to have a relationship with somebody of any variety. I don't care who this is. They have to show that when I say something to you, it's true. And for some, this was like big, whatever this was, or this was like right when you were getting to know each other, where they hadn't built up their character in any other way with you, or whatever happened here was like so severe. For a lot of you, I feel like this is cheating. Liquid courage, travel, and family. So, spiritual awakening. Yeah. So this person, I don't know. It's like I just heard, I'm going the distance. I'm going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. So that's another thing. It's like this person's listening for like, are you alone in a time of need? They are also listening to like, do you need comfort? Which I feel like you do. But also, I don't know that you want comfort from a prickly porcupine, because like I said, this person has made themselves not safe. So I don't know that there's anything this person could say to comfort you. They need to show you with their actions. So that means whoever they hurt you with, that person is not around you ever again, and they're not around them ever again. They're not going to be a problem anymore, and this person's going to make sure of it. And when they say that that's backed up with their actions. There's something big that needs to be done here now in order to kind of like readjust this. I just heard, I know I fucked up. They also don't know if you need space right now. So this person's like just really, they're confused. They don't know if you need space right now. I know I was wrong by not talking to you. Would you be open to talking now? It feels like this person should have addressed something sooner. Nipped it in the bud is what I'm getting. They should have made something clear sooner. I feel like there's been time that's gone on here because they're doing this weird listening thing. I'm working on myself each day so that I can come back to you. So this person's trying to work on themselves. I sabotaged this connection and I regret it. This person is trying to learn their lesson. If you feel that you can trust their words, that's what they're coming through and saying. But I just kind of keep getting this where you're like, I literally don't know what to think about you, because you disconnect as a human, like regardless of like me or not. It's just not important to you as a person to make sure that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And like this person doesn't stand on their word. This person doesn't stand on truth. And so because of that, they put themselves in this like weird wishy-washy gray area with the people that they care about most is what I'm getting. This isn't the first time this has happened. This could be a pattern that plays out in this person's family. This is cowardice, like make no mistake. This is like some kind of weakness. And this is reminding me of that philosophical thing. And I think I shared this on Patreon like a while back, but I found this man's channel. He's like a philosopher. He talks about like these different philosophies, but he was talking about how, Nietzsche believed very firmly that weakness is not benign, and it's not something that's like, oh, you poor baby. It's like the root cause of a lot of pain and a lot of actually persecutorial energy, where it makes somebody become an abuser, an aggressor, a persecutor, but they feel justified in doing that because they feel so like weak or hollow on the inside. So they should be learning social skills, emotion, like how to emotionally regulate. They should be learning those things to put them in their toolbox, because it should bother their conscience. I feel like Spirit's trying to, it should bother them enough that they're like, no, I'm not going to go on doing this. Like, I need to figure out how to not do this. And that's what, ironically, what you need from this person. If you tell me this is a soulmate, I kind of would believe you, because it seems to me what you need and what this person needs from them, what they need from themselves and what you need from them, it's the same thing. So it's like, if this person can live up to themselves, you can go on the path together, but it's really up to them. And this is reminding me of, I heard this woman, she's an expert in psychopathy, and I'm not suggesting that this person is a psychopath. I actually don't think that they are, but I think that maybe you have to wonder, because this person has not shown any feelings. They have not shown any remorse. You wonder if there's like on some glib and superficial charm, and it's because they're trying to sweep something under the rug. But I actually do think that this person feels these things. They just don't express these things. And it comes from like a place of, again, insecurity and pride. So this person's basically just like, here's all my baggage. You hold it. And you're like, no. But anyway, she was talking about how, I just lost it, but that it'll come back to me, because I've thought it like multiple times here in this, but well, she was talking about like really listening to that early like alert system, because you can really get taken advantage of if you don't listen to that. And maybe there's something here, but there was something else that I was going to say, but anyways, it'll come to me. But yeah, so this person, what have they heard about you? Not enough. This person's really trying to read your body language. They are trying to, and for some of you, you're not even opening up to like people that this person knows. Like, this person might not even be around people, or for others of you, this person could have drawn in a lot of flying monkeys to like kind of take their side and to like bolster something here. And you don't trust those people either now. So you're not opening up to those people. So when they're tapping their lines, you're like, what have you heard? And you're not talking to those people, because maybe you found out that some of these people knew what this person was doing, and then they were covering for them, or they didn't tell you either. And so I feel like for some of you could have lost like a lot of people actually in this quietly. I just heard quiet quitting. This person loves you though. Like, that's what they want to say. That's what they want to say. Okay, this person wants to talk about, look, trust is at the bottom of the deck. They want to talk about trust. They want to address the elephant in the room, is what I'm hearing. They do. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. This person's inner voice was going off, and it was like, you're going to fuck yourself. Like, it was so loud, and this person had overridden it for money and status in some way, I think. Loneliness. Yeah, so they made you feel lonely, but I also think this person is feeling lonely. And if this person chose somebody else over you, I think they're very lonely in that connection. Like, again, it feels like it wasn't worth it. Like, whatever it was, wasn't worth it. And whatever it was also, it doesn't elicit life out of them, and it doesn't make them happy. It's just the money and the status. I think karmically, this person had a choice, because I think you make this person genuinely happy, and they needed to honor that. And they needed to be a trustworthy person in that relationship, or they needed to go after, I really think you represented a karmic crossroads. This person may know that on some level. They might not use the word like karmic, like they might not understand karma. But yeah, I think this person's learning a karmic lesson, and I think they know it. This person kind of feels like in timeout. And I think Spirit's enforcing that. So the fact that this person has not heard what they're looking for, Spirit's not going to throw this person a bone, because they're misunderstanding the entire purpose of this. Like, this is one thing. This didn't have to happen this way. This person could have made a different choice, and they could have still learned their lessons. Because again, you are that healthy mirror for this person about standing in their nobility, about being genuinely strong, like on their own. So they would still learn those lessons holding hands with you, kind of like the easy way. But because this person made this scenario, it's like they've put them, it's all the same. The ends and the means are one. So it's like this is how they've chosen to learn this lesson, basically. because in order to bridge the gap to get back to you, this person has to demonstrate, they have to undo what they did in their actions. Karma means action. So spirit is not throwing this person a bone, and that's very much a part of the karma here because they fucked up. This isn't, oh, this is what I was going to say with that lady, what she said. She said she's very careful with her language not to say this relationship is toxic or this relationship is abusive, because that applies, she said, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It applies that both people have been in some way toxic. But she was talking about genuinely abusive dynamics. No, there was abuse that went on here. Who was the abuser? That person was the abuser. So in this situation, I think that there's something that was, I think, abusive. Even if this person is not like abusive in their energy, this was abusive, like what went on here and their way of dealing with it. Especially because it feels like they tried to torture you in order to see what you knew, instead of just saying like, I did something really fucked up, which hurt this person. And that's quite enough, actually. So I'm going to go undo the hurt if I can. And whatever repercussion is going to come, I'm carrying it because I put it into the situation. It shouldn't, once again, be you. Like, that's what I'm saying, is like this person has gotten into this pattern of just being way too comfortable with allowing you to carry the pain of their actions. So if you're going to tell me this is a karmic, that's where I feel like that's coming in. This person's way too comfortable allowing you and everyone else to carry the karmic, nasty burden, emotional, physical, otherwise, whatever pain is generated by their actions. So it's very unequitable and it's very much like not fair. So she says like, it's very important to say like, yeah, this relationship did fall apart because of him or because of her, right? This other person didn't do anything wrong. They just were on the receiving end. That's what happened here. It's something here like that where no, both people did not actually contribute to this, to the same degree. Somebody here and like this person's like, there's a side to me I'm not sure you would understand. My question to this person is, do you understand it? That side to you, do you understand it? Because it looks very unconscious to me. It looks like a howling, gaping, whirlwind, Tasmanian devil thing that's just like spinning so fast that like you can't even grab it. They're so used to living with that part of themselves that they don't know they can grab it and sit it down and be like, the fuck are you? Why do you exist? Why do you do the things that you do? This person has not gotten curious about their own psychology. And this really comes down to accountability. That leads to curiosity that then would clear up their karma of like, why am I like this? Is there another way to be? How could I interrupt this? Because I think this person feels sorry, but they don't feel sorry enough to actually do anything about it. And I'm just really over people like that, where it's like, yeah, I understand that you're sorry, but then like they somehow manage to suck up all the victim stance in the room. I'm so sorry. And like, I don't know what to do. And then you end up like comforting them when really you were the one that was wronged in this. And like, if this person's really sorry, they need to stand up in their energy and say, I am sorry. They need to say it like that. No, I'm sorry. Like go to therapy and do that there, and then get yourself together and be the person that is required of you to be in this relationship and watch something change. That's what I heard. And watch something change. So like, this is an excuse the way it's coming through from this person. There's a side to me that I'm not sure you would understand. Bitch, do you understand it? Why don't you understand it? And why don't you explain it to me like I'm 5? Sorry doesn't mean anything if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, exactly. And also like there's quite a bit of projection here, and there could have been some kind of misunderstanding. Because this person like just justifies their bad actions, and they're like, well, you wouldn't understand. They don't understand. And they also, it's just them being like, there's just this side to me. It shouldn't be. This is wrong, whatever this is. And it's fruitless. Like whatever this person did, it didn't get them what they wanted. They lost way more. They lost you. And whatever they wanted, you would actually have brought that in some way, shape, or form, way more than whatever this other thing is. Way more. And also there's this je de vivre, like that I feel like comes in from your energy or comes in from your connection. It's like the sum is way greater than the total of its parts. So this person needs to understand that they lack wisdom. They don't know what it is that they're looking at. And so if they look at it that this is wrong and this is fucked up, not just what they did to you and that what they made you feel, the way they interact with life, that's an excuse. This person makes excuses on the inside, and they don't want to say like, I make excuse. This is just me making an excuse and I'm just furthering the pain that they don't think about it that way. And so that's another little thing that's dinging up on my radar, where it's like, it makes this person unsafe for you to be around and other people that you care about. Like I know some of you have children that you've got to think about. It makes it unsafe for people to be around this person because you just never know when they're going to hurt you and then cry victim and expect you to make all of the amends, even though they've really done quite enough, Yeah. Okay. Change. Talfa, thank you so much for the super chat. And the fox with the heart. Okay, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. This person needs to move from their ass is what they need to do. Okay, that's what the lesson is too. Spirit is saying you need more information. Move then. I just saw a spirit goose this person. Better move then. You're only getting information from this person, and you're only getting the right information if you speak to them directly and honestly. And if you come clean about what you did and why you did it. It's like this relationship could be salvaged, but they have to go to the source. They can't be doing, it's very passive. It's very Cancer energy, like very just like shifty, kind of like around. Trust. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yeah, this person needs to accept responsibility, but instead I feel like they're blaming. This is very much like this, my shoe's too big, my glove's too big, my shoe is untied and I tripped over a rock. I used to play softball. That was like, yeah, my shoe's too big, and I tripped over a rock. We all make mistakes, but like this is practice. So really try to figure out what mechanically went wrong so that you can like fix it. That's what we're here to do in practice. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. And I feel like this person is so comfortable in their excuses. Failure. I understand the mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. This would piss me off. If a person who like hurt me like this didn't come to me just straight faced and instead try to crack a joke. For some of you, maybe like that's what they did because they're trying to deflect and this person is uncomfortable. Like I can understand that, but I feel like that's what this person needs to practice is just being in the stronger side of themselves, being in the stronger side of life and just taking ownership. This person just needs to take ownership. I just heard they ruined your connection. Like they need to say like, because I feel like this person is like, well, then this happened. This person is a master of like conflating things and confusing things. Well, no, because you did that. It all comes back to a singular root. And it set certain things in motion where, yeah, you did adjust yourself accordingly. So you made different decisions than you would had this person not made their original sin and had this person cleared it up immediately. Yes, you did behave, you did move away from them, or you did go see somebody else, and you wouldn't have. But this person's like, well, and then they get all confused. All of it is this elaborate dance so this person does not have to take accountability for the way that things turned out between the two of you. This is not 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It just isn't. And if this person wants to play that game, they're always going to be confused and they're never going to clear this up. This person fucked this up and they will clear it up. And Spirit just said that they are responsible for clearing it up, not you. Honesty. This is about honesty, being honest. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And I feel like you had to learn this too. I guess I cannot always expect honesty from others, but I'm going to look at this clearly because I can really feel, especially if there's a strong like connection here, or if this is something that you really wanted, or you just feel that strong like connection here, or if this was somebody that was close to you, I can really feel the pressure mentally to be in denial about it. And to be like, okay, well, maybe I should just like push this under and not deal with it. And Spirit is saying, we're screening this person for honesty before they are allowed in your inner space. Let us do it. Trust me. Trust me. Because this person will do a hell of a lot more damage. And I just heard it's either on you or it's on your children. This person's going to fuck them up. If they don't change this now, you're going to have way more problems. And I just saw it like ballooning out. So, and this is self-love. So I feel like your karmic energy here, it's like you're learning honesty. I guess I can't always expect honesty from other people, but I'm going to be honest about the situation. I'm going to look at it square and I'm going to use the right words. And I just heard enunciate. I'm going to enunciate. I'm going to hold this very firm line because I feel like you were really just asking for the bare minimum, and the bare minimum was them rectifying what they fucked up. And if they're not willing to do that, you kind of have to move on. They really didn't give you a choice. And I think this person, some of you, like they might feel betrayed. Like, oh, you chose to move on. And how could you? Because, like, I don't know, because what we had was so special, or like, I don't know. It feels like this is like a very loving connection or something like that. And it's like, you're wrong about that. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're wrong about it because there was no choice. If this person had come clean, now there's a choice for you. Do I accept it or do I not? I don't think this person came clean, so there is no choice on your end. You just have to move away or disrespect yourself. That's not an actual choice. So this person needs to get the fuck real about who they are and the way that this is a squirmer. And if this is a man and this was a romantic connection, I can imagine this would just douse the fire for you really quick, especially if they cheated on you. And if he wants it back, then he's got to come back. And he's got to show you that he's not a weasel. Who's attracted to a weasel, Apparently this other bitch. Well, let her be attracted to it. Because you have a higher standard. Let her children's minds get messed up from this man. And that's you standing in your power. So there's a joined lesson here of standing in your power. But for others of you, this is family or this is like work or something. Bronny's entity attachment. Tasha Blonde Diablo, as always, thank you so much. Love your content and just wanted to thank you. Peryush. I love that you say that, Peryush. It reminds me of Yoshi in Mario. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I think that is all for this pile, because otherwise I'm going to get into a conniption, and you guys know how I get, and I'm just in such a lovely mood. So, okay, that was pile number 1. And we can compassion this person, but don't forget to compassion yourself. I think that's the other thing. It's like, have compassion to yourself. Do you really want to F this person like all the time, knowing that they just treated you so callously and what they do with other people? That's not having compassion for yourself, you know? Or like whatever this is. Do you really want to put yourself at a disadvantage? Like, where's the compassion for yourself? Where's the tending to yourself, you know? The question was special for who? Oh, his entity. Ex-friend. She needs to do the processing, which she is running from, but not for us, for herself. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, this could be friendship. It just feels like this was like a really special connection, or at least you thought this was gonna, you both did. You both thought that. And then this person like just defecated all over it and was like, I feel like this is somehow your fault. And you're like, okay, let me be around anybody else but you. Thanks. It's giving like gaslighting, you know? And I don't even think this person is trying to gaslight you necessarily. It's just that they can't face who they are and what they did. It just comes down to weakness. Yes. Okay, so that was pile number 1. More compassion. Compassion. So if you're just joining us, I'm going to put the cards back up there. By the way, do you guys see the candle that I have? I'm just going to... This is the Valentine's Day candles, which we still have a few more of if you are interested, and we'll talk about that later, but I put that there today and I wanted you to see it. Okay. Compassion. Okay, the gnomes. These are the cards that we have, and we just did pile number 1, which is the eternal child, and now we're getting ready to do pile number 2, which is the judge, and then we're going to move on to pile number 3, which is the prayer. So if you want to choose your pile if you haven't yet, and let us move on to pile number 2. Marie Estrada, thank you so much for the super chat and the cute little wiggly fox bunny. Okay. There needs to be an exorcism emoji. I'm crying. Okay. All right. Pile number 2. Man, I'm just like so thirsty. All right. Pile number 2. What has this person heard about you? New energy, spirit, new energy. What has this person heard about you? Okay, this is Tough by Quinn, some kind of Roman numeral, XC11, featuring no... Oh, this is a fun song. Maybe it's because your mom never kissed you. If you ever cried, you wipe with muscle tissue. You bench pressing more than me is not the issue. I know you're actually weaker than that. Let's open up and get deeper than that. I can't remember the song right now, but this is like one of those like funny irony songs. Oh man, I like this song so much and I completely forgot about it. But yeah, it's like, oh, you're such a tough guy, you know? And you wanted to like kind of bully me around, but like we know that you're like emotionally weak. You might like go to the gym all the time, but like you want to cry, and we both know that. And instead of just crying, like you're taking it out on me or something here like that. And that could be like some kind of judge energy here. So, okay. Let me see. What? Oh, interesting. Huh. All right. So what has pile number 2's person heard about them? This person that they're asking about. Habits. I don't know if I will ever change. Huh. Soul contract. Holding back. Confusion. Okay, I'm actually confused with this pile. For some of you, okay, because we have the judge energy and we have the habits energy. So for some of you, they could have heard something about a habit that you have, possibly that ended up in like court or some kind of like decision or something. Third party. Secrets. Third party secrets. Okay, so I feel like either they held back or you did. And so maybe some kind of third party filled in something and they might not have been entirely truthful. I'm still confused, so let me just get a different deck here. Okay, this person is confused. That's what I feel like this is. I feel like this person has heard a lot of different things maybe, and it could have been because they were holding back. So for some of you, this could be a continuation from pile number 1 because they were holding back. Remember I was saying karmically, if they're not going to get that, they're not going to get the right information. So it could be that a third party lied for some reason or just didn't know and like said the wrong information or something here like that. But for others of you, maybe you held back. You weren't like being forthcoming about saying something about like a judgment energy that you had. So again, I think that they've heard things that don't make sense to them. They don't make sense to them because of who they know you to be, or they're hearing like different tales about you or they're hearing different things. And I feel like this person is just confused. They also could have, for some of you, they could have heard that you're with a guy like this. Maybe a guy that's like buff, goes to the gym or something like, I think for some of you, this person is with like another person, a third party. And let me just cover up the bodies here, but it's like in the devil energy. They could have actually very impulsively, they could have gone and gotten with somebody impulsively. And they're like in this karmic connection, they're attached. And you're actually in this Queen of Pentacles energy. So that's what I'm getting is like there's a projection here of this person maybe having heard that, or maybe they heard it from this third party. I don't know. Having heard that like about you, that you're in this toxic energy, but really it's them. And maybe this could also be the difference that they're hearing, that you're in this devil energy, but what they see is you being in this Queen of Pentacles energy, you being calm and confident and single and alone and something here like that. This one's all jumbled. I feel like this person doesn't know what to think about you. And for some of you, this is a tie over from pile number 1 because it's like being in quicksand, right? Where, like I said, this person needed to ask you directly. They needed to confront something directly. So if they're involving third parties, if they're literally going to third parties and asking them, like, I don't know that these people know you all that well. Some of these people are not the best people. They're like lying. This is all karmic. And it's just like being in quicksand where you want to flail around and like try to get out of it, but you need to be calm and wait for someone to hand you a branch, and like to pull yourself kind of like out of it. Okay, so let me try to get some clarity here. Spirit, can we get like more clarity? What is this person hearing about pile number 2? Okay, so they have heard something about like you being independent. And I feel like this is actually in alignment with the way that this person knows you to be and sees you to be. They could have heard that you are single, that you are working really hard at something, and that you're just basically putting one foot in front of the other. And that you're possibly working towards a goal, something that maybe has already taken you a long time or that will take you a long time to complete. This could be like a degree program or something. And your program lasts like so many years or something like that. And I think that they are hearing that you're gaining some kind of traction. And also they're hearing that you have some kind of like level of responsibilities. And they're hearing that you got some kind of wish fulfillment, or that you're en route to fulfilling some kind of wish fulfillment, but they're not hearing everything that they want to hear about that. They've possibly also heard something here about like your wins. You could have actually won some kind of an award or some kind of like acknowledgement, possibly even like multiple things, or your work has been acknowledged. Or again, like this could be something like, if this is a degree program, they could have heard that, you finished this course and that, like the little check boxes, like on the way for you to achieving whatever your overall goal is, or like you did your practicum or you did your internship. Like they could be hearing like, and it sounds to them like you're making steady, solid progress here in something, and you're getting your wishes coming true, and that you're feeling very like proud of yourself. Maybe like somewhat smug, but that you're just feeling very proud of yourself. But there's also a lot that this person can't see or like doesn't know, like the details. It feels like they're hearing broad brushstroke things, like kind of from a distance. They're also hearing something about like your solar plexus, your chakras. Yeah. Like, and that maybe that you're happy, Yeah, and there's a lot of pentacle energy here. Look, we're like leading up to the 10 of Pentacles. That this is like leading up to something here. Or that and this person kind of feels like you could have even inspired this person to like get started on their own journey, because this person could have been like, whoa, and they saw you. For some of you, it's like what this person has seen. Maybe they watch your social media or something, and so you're like, just finished the first part of my degree program or something like that, And so this person has just watched you. It seems like you are making progress, but it's potentially like slowly over time. And this person is like seeing that actually in real time turn to the 10 of Pentacles. And they're like, that's the way. Some of you, like, you've literally shown this person the way out. And it could have been after like some kind of judgment, you made some kind of decision. And for some of you, this was a decision of like, I'm going towards this degree program and not that degree program. I'm going to this school and not that school. It feels like some kind of major judgment call energy, and possibly like away from them. Yeah, some kind of like decision, justice energy, some kind of like balancing out energy. This person has a lot of confusion. They don't know how to kind of process this. Okay, so what else is this person hearing about pile number 2? Whoops. Okay, like they're hearing maybe about like work, who you're working with. There's a lot of like pentacle energy here. Maybe they're also, I feel like this person feels that you're not paying attention to them. This person may want to argue with you or something like that. So, but they could have heard that like, maybe for some of you, this person said something kind of like snotty or whatever, and you didn't hear about it, but they know that you didn't hear about it. You didn't get that message, or you have like strong boundaries or something, or somebody else did this and they were trying to maybe start some shit with you and you didn't take the bait, and this person heard about that. Okay, I kind of want to get a different deck here. This person is kind of realizing what you meant to them. Like, or they're realizing, they could also realize what you meant, what you were talking about. And this could have had to do with like your goals. Like this person was like, well, I don't really understand that chosen path of yours. But as they're seeing you walk it, like over time, they understand it more and more. And they're like, oh, and they're like watching you kind of fill in your vision or something. And it's like making sense to them. But I think they're also understanding what you meant to them. Yeah, they could have heard that you tempered out your energy after some kind of sexual connection, and that could be with them. It could be with them or somebody else. It could be that something bad happened to you and that you've tempered out. I get the sense that for some of you, this person is in a karmic relationship and they're really sad. And I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I in a while, it's going to be in a few days, but I did a sexual fantasy reading for the channel. It's going to go up on Patreon first. It's going to be like not right away that it's going to come out, but it's reminding me of one of the piles in that where I said something like, this person chose a path of weakness. For some of you, this is definitely a holdover from pile number 1. They chose a partner that's easy for them to control. I think they're both kind of just sad and like in that energy. And yeah, it was built on some kind of betrayal. So they could have heard that, I heard that you settled down, that you're and you're married now. So for some of you, this person, like that's going to the 10 of Pentacles, because it's going just from the Queen of Pentacles. It went from the Knight of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. So for some, this person, I heard that your dreams came true. Guess they gave you things I didn't give to you. Yeah, like this person, and it's making them sad. And I think this person is understanding what you were getting at in terms of a relationship. Because this could be a person too, if this is like a love relationship where they thought commitment was like a death sentence. They thought that it was like boring, and that it's not, there's not happiness and like thriving that can happen in that space. They thought that it was going to be like, all they would think about is like all the things that they're giving up in a commitment, and not the things that they can build, and actually the new challenges that come in that, and the satisfactions and things. But they're getting it now. Like when they're seeing you do this, possibly with someone else. But I think they were watching you for a long time or they were keeping tabs on you, listening. I think before you found somebody else, but they're watching like your life bloom, and they're seeing your version of life, like your guiding lights. They're seeing the fruits of it, and they're like, that looks really nice. And I really just don't think that they have that spark in their life. It's kind of actually like sad. And I think this person's having like a lot of regrets. I do think this person wants to reach out, but they have heard that you've made a judgment call about them. And possibly them hearing that you made a judgment call about them, if like for some, they could have wondered if you were coming back or if you were going to be with them again. But once you started dating somebody else, and then this strikes me as somebody who could have watched, like, you mention here and there about a person that you were with, and then like you had maybe a couple pictures on your Facebook about it or on your Instagram, and then they saw you change your relationship status, and then they saw you, and then they were like, whoa, that's like a relationship, that's like a commitment. You made a choice, and you continue to make a choice to like be and to grow and to invest over there, so therefore you are not choosing them, kind of thing. So for some of you, that's what they've heard here as well. Yeah, I think they have heard that you're like having some kind of new beginning, and that you possibly have other choices, but you've chosen. That you have had choices and that you have chosen here. It feels like you've had more choices than just this person or like another person too. Like they could have heard about like those other choices. They could have heard something here about this other person. And I think maybe for some, they could compare like their body to them. This person, they could have heard that this person's like more buff than they are, or bigger than they are, or bigger than they are maybe. But it feels like they're in the gym. This person like works out in the gym, or like, I just heard, now I'm down bad crying at the gym. Everything comes out, teenage petulance. Fuck it if I can't have him. Yeah, I feel like that's the way that this person feels. This person's like, fine, I'll go to the gym, but I'm gonna cry the whole time, or something. I don't know. So I feel like this person's not like really in a great place, and they want to tell you to wait. They want to tell you not to go. This person's in darkness. I feel like this person can be depressed. Why would I choose someone who didn't choose me? Exactly, Christy. That's what I'm trying to say here, right? Yeah. I love crying at the gym. Oh my gosh. You guys are funny. Okay. Yeah, this person feels like they're getting their karma. Because I think this person wanted to offer you a new beginning. I think they wanted to offer you their wand, basically. And they wanted a passionate like reconciliation. And I think potentially this person wanted to compete with this other person. So this is also a person, maybe they heard all this stuff when you had just started dating somebody else. And they were like, no, I got to like get in there. I got to like compete and everything. But I don't know. This person was like not able to get through, or, yeah, this person didn't take the higher cup from spirit in some way. And for some, like this person found like pushed you. Like this person waited for like far too long. And then this is another thing where this could be another kind of like energy to pile number one, like another way of looking at it, where this person also made a decision. Like it feels like they left you on the back burner, or they just left something to stew until it was like, oh, somebody else entered the picture. And then they were like, oh shit, like now I have to, like, when they could have, some of you were single for a long time, and this person could have come back. They could have done the right thing by you. They could have participated in your vision. It could have been them, basically. But then they just waited until there was like competition there. And then they felt like small. It feels karmic. It feels karmic. They wanted some kind of new beginning. They wanted a rebirth in this situation. And then I think it was when they were thinking about that, they realized that they had competition, but then I feel like they were shut down. And then I feel like this person is sad and they have like a wounded pride. But that's what I'm saying, is like, maybe you wouldn't have shut this person down if they had acted sooner. I don't like this. Okay, what else is this person? I think this person has heard that you found your match, or that you've found a reciprocal connection in some way, in whatever arena of life this person is in. I think they heard that you took a chance in that fool energy. You took some kind of chance, and it was a good one. Basically, it was the strength energy. And this person wants to think that that's just like a hookup, or just like a fuckboy or something. But I think that person's the emperor. They think that they're your emperor. And this person had to work on themselves, I think. This person was told by spirit that they needed to be in their groove or in their routine in order for them to get right with you or for you or something. And I don't think this person did that. I think that they just pushed something off until they wanted to just jump in, like very willy-nilly. And actually, this person was in the Knight of Wands energy, where they didn't have a plan. They're going to burn out. They're going to, it was some kind of like temptation energy. And this person could have been like your soulmate or something, or they needed to become the emperor, but instead they just stuck in some kind of Knight of Wands energy. Yeah, this person's really defensive. So whatever they're hearing about you, they're hearing through this very stagnant energy, this I don't want to change energy, this I've burrowed myself down into a position energy, this I really wanted to be your man or your woman energy, this emperor wannabe energy. They're hearing things. There's this, I just like felt like hot, salty tears, like, yeah, I just saw this person like drinking and crying. This person is sad. This person is sad. And I feel like this person has had to like settle. So that's also a different comparison, is I feel like because this person wasn't on the trajectory like you were very much in the Pentacles energy, one foot in front of the other. Like, yeah, your seeds might not pop up like right away, but eventually they're going to grow that way. This person, it feels like kind of they dicked off. They left everything to chance. And then it feels very much like instead of building my future, I settled. I like had to settle, because it feels like you crossed a finish line or people started crossing a certain finish line. And so then I had to, and I just had to settle with the nearest thing to me because I hadn't been like building anything, and they're not happy in their relationship and they're sad. And I feel like, they feel like they can control this person, and they might even be trying to dress this person up to make you jealous or other people jealous or to make it seem like they have something here. I feel like there's drinking. These people could drink. Like that's what they do to hang out with each other. And like other people, I heard they drink like fishes. And there's a real sense of like emotional immaturity. I think they try to make it seem like it's something different than that, but it's not. But it's a functioning dysfunction. And it started in this person. And I imagine it's in some way mirrored in their partner. It might be an opposite reflection of that. Or like, and I really get that their partner really wants them to be, they wish that they were this person's genuine love, but they're not. They're not. And I think they feel that on some level here. Yeah. This is sad. I feel like this person has heard about you succeeding, but this is not like overnight success. This is like you bringing your vision to like fruition. And there's a lot of watching in regards of this as well. Yeah, secretly watching. This person wonders like what's behind the veil. And again, there's a lot of that projection energy because I don't think this person's very happy behind the veil. And they kind of need to peel back the layers of the onion of how they got there, which is like not taking the reins of their own life. Because I think Spirit was telling this person they needed to be in the Eight of Pentacles energy, right? In order to match you. And I think Spirit was going to fast track this person to be able to be with you. But if they had to choose that and they had to put work in, I think this person needed to like say no to socializing and like be, in the Eight of Pentacles, like that guy is like alone on the bench, like away from the city. The city's like in the background and he's like, they needed to spend some time alone, possibly like depressed. They needed to like work on something. And I think that was going to actually build results much in the same way that yours was. And then I think your routines would have brought you back together, because I think maybe this is a soulmate connection, but it's just they needed to be on your same wavelength and they needed to onboard to that. And Spirit was trying to tell this person on board to that. And this person just didn't. They let themselves down and they just got stuck. I feel like this person got like stuck or trapped. This karma, this justice card keeps coming out. There's karma and there's some kind of like, I just heard, remember that life's a great balancing act. There's some kind of like balancing out where, and I think this person is maybe just now starting on their Pentacles journey. It feels like a Page of Pentacles. They're being asked to trust their intuition and to take some kind of leap of faith. Yeah, because this person can actually grow themselves into the King of Pentacles. They can do it. They don't see that they can do it, but they can do it. And this person does actually need to heal. They trusted the wrong person, I think, or they trusted the wrong voice. So this is a person who could have been, there's a lot of socializing energy, but this feels like at the bar. It feels like very unconscious socializing, and that's the people that they're around. And that's the level of advice that this person is receiving, is people who are kind of running from their problems, kind of not building. They're getting saboteur kind of advice because they're kind of in that energy. And that's why Spirit was saying, you need to go be alone right now. You need to go work. And I feel like this person's like, well, I don't want to do that. But they don't understand that when Spirit was like, you need to go alone and you need to go like work on something, that was going to get this person out of the bar. It was going to get them out from around all these toxic negative influences. It was going to do 10 things for them that they needed in order to clear their head and to get themselves back on track. And they couldn't do it, or they didn't want to do it. They couldn't. I feel like this person's depressed. I feel like this person has been, this is like a partier. And they did that in order to, maybe they thought that it was like manipulation to get back to this like lover situation, but they did that in order to distract themselves. Yeah, they resisted an ending. And I think it's to this like party lifestyle. And just like hooking up with randos. And yeah, they resisted the call to become the King of Pentacles. And I feel like they trusted the wrong voice inside of them, and they also trusted the wrong voices outside of them. Yeah. This person let you down. They've possibly heard that they let you down, that they didn't give you enough, and so you had to make a decision here. Okay, yeah, I mean, this person feels like they tried, like, okay, so we got kinfolks that came out from Sam Hunt, but honey, you got my hopes up, and I'm thinking that I want to introduce you to my kinfolks. So I feel like this person's hopes were really up. Like, this person always imagined you, like, basically becoming part of their family. And then we've got Gemini feed from Banks. I tried 1,000 times. I tried to tell you I love you, but you didn't hear me. And you're passive aggressive, but I admit, and then ... I admit that you wanted me smaller. So this person could feel that you're like getting revenge on them by just like moving away. Yeah. I think this person tells themselves like, well, I guess it just wasn't perfect enough for it. This person's really depressed. They're very sad. This person cannot look at what they've done here because they're just so disappointed in themselves, and they're just so disappointed in the life that they like are living, and the people that they're around, I think, are hollow. They're hollow, meaningless conversations is what I'm getting. It feels just very depressed. These people don't have anything to say to them or anything. Mama Heat, thank you so much for the super chat. And it's like this person keeps kind of wanting to start towards you or start towards healing. I think at this point, this person needs healing themselves emotionally and possibly in their physical body, because I do feel like there's been some like really like abusive energy towards their own physical body with substances and the kind of people that they're around and the kind of ideas that they're around and the kind of talk that they're around. It's really caused a lot of damage in this person's space and within them and within their auric field. And I think this person needs distance. Like this person, but their energy levels are shot. This person may have like some kind of health thing that's they're not feeding themselves like the right foods. And it feels kind of like depression though, like where it's because their energies, they're not able to sustain like energy level, you know? Yes, he looks terrible. He needs to heal. Okay, anything else that this person has heard? This is the person though, I just keep wanting to bring this back. They're hearing this from the Four of Pentacles. They're hearing this from a position of lack, from feeling stuck, like they won't budge. This person's unwilling to budge. And I feel like this person did need to budge. This looks like a more intense energy to me than pile number one. And possibly like the pattern, like really having gripped this person. They're blocked off at the heart. They're blocked off at their crown chakra. They're not listening to their intuition. They're not in touch with their own rhythms. This person feels like they're kind of in a karmic den that they've created through not listening to spirit, through not listening to their heart, not listening to their intuition. And I think this person's really mad at themselves, but they are mad at you, and they think that you're getting revenge on them because you seem to be winning in life, but you're not winning to try to like rub this person's nose in it. You are just simply stating like the truth of a situation. Like, and this is a lot for the gap between you and this person and your ability to do that is so large that this person almost cannot understand just like the truth, because this person doesn't shoot straight with themselves, and they're not around people who shoot straight either. They're around very deluding, very degrading is what I'm hearing energies. They could like put down women or love in general. Like this is kind of like a group of people that their identity is around lack, and they make it seem like a strong thing instead of trying. I think it's like crabs in a bucket where all of these people need to try in their own life in some way, but they're too scared to fail and look stupid that they instead create this culture of like, well, you're not going to do that, are you? That would be stupid. Like, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, this is really heavy. It feels Eeyore, very depressed energy. Unappreciated. I felt like you didn't care. This person felt like you didn't care about them. I don't think that's it at all. I think you needed something specific from this person. You needed them to try. This is like something here about like a try energy. And this person's codependent, and they're around people. They're in some kind of echo chamber that it's a very negative echo chamber. It's like, don't try, do the least, you know, very much like that. That's cool. when really it's just entirely stagnant. Ego, I let my pride get in the way of our connection. Indecisive, I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. I feel like this is what this person should have heard, is what I'm getting. Is their inability to make a decision really hurt you? But instead, it just kind of almost bounced off this person because they wanted you so bad. They're so sad. They're in so much pain. The enormity of getting themselves out of like the life that they've created is so much that this person just can't fathom it. So instead, I feel like this person just misunderstood, intentionally like misread your energy. They don't want to chase. They're confused. And I don't think Spirit was asking this person to chase you. I think Spirit was like, you need to be in the Eight of Pentacles energy. This to me, it's like, you need to go do that degree program that you wanted to, even if it was just like a certificate thing. Go do that. Do this job over the summer. Something here. I think it has to do with their own work life and their own routine life. But they needed to be sad and they needed to be alone. And this feels like 8 months. It feels like it's an extended period of time. And I actually think 8 months would be a long time for this person to not be around these codependent energies that distract them and make them feel like not doing the right thing is the right thing or the cool thing or the strong thing. I think that would actually have been a long time. And Spirit knows that for this person. But that would have been enough for... And then, like I said, I think Spirit, like your routines would have just naturally lined up in some way. But if this person, and I think they were dicking off at the bar in another relationship just to dick off, like if they were doing all that, then Spirit's not going to bring the two of you together. It's going to be like two ships passing in the night. And it's bitterness. It like brings up like the bitterness here for this person. And they aren't able to see the truth of like their actions. Guilty. Yeah, I feel pain from the damage I've caused. This person just feels guilt. I feel like this person... it's never too late to change, and it's never too late to learn a lesson, because I feel like this person's been in this energy for so long. They're really attached to their ego identity. They're really attached to their position. It's like they don't want to admit that they're wrong. It's like muscles that have atrophied too. This person feels like, I don't know, you know what it is to be like depressed, but then like this person's depressed and they're like at the bar, their body and their cells feel like just coated in alcohol to me or like something. And so whenever it's like, if you wanted to go and you were like, I'm going to change my life around. And so you were going to go wake up the next morning and go for a run. It's that kind of feeling of like, ugh, like your body feels really bad. Like when you're first trying to do it, that like the healthy thing. But the more this person does it, the better, the easier it's going to be and the better they're going to feel. And I also think that they're kind of addicted to these negative energies around because it makes them feel like they're not as bad as they are, like as bad off as they are, and that everybody's in a shit relationship. So mine's not, everybody's in a relationship that doesn't elicit happiness out of them. It's not the same thing, And I feel like this person's too focused on like saving face and like protecting themselves instead of taking a risk and look to look stupid is like what I'm getting to. And they feel like they're chasing you, but really they're chasing their own dream. And they misread your energy because that's what you've done. And I think this person like has heard that there's a smugness that they associate, but it's because I think this person wanted to be smug over you, but you're not asking them to chase. I feel like you were just holding up a mirror of like, this is the way out. Like, follow me, pick up your cross and follow me kind of thing. This is a sad energy. Okay, this person's also heard that you're confused, and possibly you're confused about them, their decisions, their relationship, who they're with, why they're with that person. Like this person feels like they owe you an explanation about their behavior. And this just feels like this person has gotten themselves into such a situation, they don't even know how they would fix it. It's so enormous. So this person has actually heard that you're very confused about them. And I think in particular about who they're with and why they're with that person. And this person is like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Literally, that's the energy of this whole reading of, do I open up and come clean and say that like, all I think about is you. I'm so miserable here. This is just comfortable for me in the sense that, I don't know. It feels like a tolerable level of permanent unhappiness. That's what this person's in. I'm in a tolerable level of permanent unhappiness. But it feels like a security blanket for this person. And am I going to go after the thing that I want? And in order to do that, they would have to be honest. And so that creates confusion of like, because they also know if they choose you that they can't be in that same nasty energy. And so this feels like a huge drain on this person, but they know that you're confused. Possibly you're confused about a reunion and something that happened at a reunion So like you could have been maybe this person showed up with a date, or like they showed up in a relationship and that broke you, or you didn't understand that maybe this person reunited with an ex as well because they were feeling broken. And they were trying to like detach. I think for some, this person really tried to numb out. They thought that time would like have them detach, but it just didn't work. They neglected you and your connection, and they feel like they're always connected to you. So I feel like this person has kind of like finally started to hear these things. I'm hearing they went deaf to you is what I'm getting. Like this person went deaf to you. They tried to block you out. They tried to block out this connection. They tried to like pour themselves into something else. They thought that it was self-love, but all this person does is like reminisce about you, and you made this person realize their flaws. So what are they hearing about you? Certain things that are making them realize their flaws, that are making them realize that they neglected you, that are making them realize that you were confused about their position and why they showed up with that other person, or why they reunited with that person to begin with. Like, third party, indecisive. Their inability to make a decision. And their inability to make a decision. This person daydreams about reciprocity. They daydream about having a healthy connection. But this indecision comes from their comfort zone, because all these negative, nasty people and negative, nasty habits and stuff, it's their comfort blanket in some weird way, even though it hurts them. This person has a trauma bond with a lot of things, like with their friend group, with the bar, with alcohol, with drugs, with this karmic that they apparently run back to because it's their security blanket, and this person doesn't challenge them, and they don't expect them to make anything more of their life than just like hanging out at the bar and being depressed. This person has heard that you needed space because they didn't act when they should have, and that you've been it's caused this person to reflect on their regrets. So, which has made them even more confused. This person's overwhelmed. That's really what this is. I think this person keeps saying things like they're confused. I think really they're overwhelmed, and they just need to take it one thing at a time. And they need to fix one thing, and then fix the other thing, and then fix the other thing. That to me is that Eight of Pentacles energy. Just and they need to get away. Like this is someone who could really use like a retreat, but like not a vacation retreat. This is like go do a work study program, go woofing, for like a year to get away from the people that they're around. Because it's not just one person, although you could pick out any one person in this group of people and that person's going to be karmic to them. But it's the whole people that are around this person that just keep them in this very toxic, very low vibrational holding pattern. And this person will be absolutely surprised when they just like get out of there. And I think at first it's going to be like they're confused. They don't know how to stand on their own 2 feet. This person's very codependent on socializing, just in general, because they just distract themselves from their discomfort. But I'm like, I don't know why I keep getting like the woofing thing, because woofing is when you go work on farms. Like, you can stay with, and there's different deals that people work out, but it's like you go work on farms for like, okay, 3 months, maybe this farm needs something, and you stay in a room that they have for you, and then you go to another farm for the next 3 months, or like maybe you get a gig that's like a year and a half or something. That's what I'm saying. It's like this person needs to go work alone. And it feels like on the road, because this person does need some kind of distraction. So they're going to be meeting new people, but these are also new people that they're not going to have in their life for a long period of time. I think that's important for this person because they're not out of this energy yet. So they are possibly going to possibly reform codependent relationships because they need to get out of that energy. They need to process. They need to be on the move is kind of like what I'm getting. Or this person needs to go like backpacking for a year alone, that's really what this person needs. And that's the adventure that they're looking for. This is also reminding me of like, I knew this woman and she was telling me about her life, and she, right out of college, I think I've told you guys this story, some of you, right out of college, this was like back in the day where people like made a lot more money. She got married because that's what she felt like she was supposed to do. And it was to this guy that had a lot of money, was, in some kind of an acceptable career field. She herself was like an accountant or something. She got a really good job making 6 figures right out of college. And she thought she was a failure because everybody that she was around made more than her, but they were also a lot older than her. And so she would have to go to these company functions, and it would be at these people's like grand houses or whatever. She literally got so depressed that she became schmoicidal, and her marriage fell apart, but she had just been saving like all of her money. And so she decided that she wanted to end things, but she was like, well, I got all this money in my bank account, might as well go on like a trip. So she went backpacking, and she was such a scared person. She was scared to do like anything, to step a toe out of line, but she was like, I might as well just see the world or whatever. So she was like, I took risks. She's like, I would walk down the street at night because I figured I didn't care what happened to me, because like, and Morocco really changed her. She said the people of Morocco are like her family, that they were so kind and their food was so good. And she met this one man in the market that invited her to go back to his family's house. And she was like, well, this might be a murder trap, but she went, and his family was so kind, and his wife, and like everybody made her feel so warm. She was able to stay with them. They made sure that she had like food and stuff, and it changed her. Their kindness changed her. She swam with a shark. Like she did like something like that. She's like, I never would have done that. And it turns out that that trip saved her life. That's what changed her, is just like getting up out of that scenario. And then she just volunteered. She never made anywhere near, she was older when I met her. She never made anywhere near six figures for the rest of her life, but she was happy and she was stable. She never remarried. And she just lived this entirely different life. She was like trapped in a cage. This person needs something like that. Something, I don't know what it would be for this person, like the journey home kind of shit. Like, I'm going to go to India and I'm going to join an ashram, and I'm going to travel around until I find what's right for me, or I'm going to backpack across Europe, or this person needs something like that to just like resuscitate them, and to like have, and just to get away from people. So, why does this story make me sad? Yeah, I mean, it was really sad. It's sad too, like that she thought she was such a failure, that she just had it like ingrained in her. Because I don't really know, but I think she came from a family that had very high expectations of her, and told her like what she was to do and what she wasn't to do, kind of thing, and really just like messed her up. And part of it too was her husband struggled to get a job right out of college, which a lot of people do. And when he got a job, I think he was making something like $76,000 a year or something, like not as much as her though. And it really like bothered her because she was told like a certain thing. So together they were making like almost $200,000 a year right out of college in their 20s. Crazy. That's crazy. But crazy good too. But like it just goes to show like perspective like is different. And I think traveling to other cultures too, and meeting other people that have different life experience, different perspectives of what's important and what's not. Because there's like a family thing, I think, with this person too, where there's like a toxic perspective. Again, like kind of what I was saying of like, you can do this and that's only successful. And if you do this, that's not successful. But they need, like, other people have different metrics of success. Like, are you happy? Like, that's what I'm getting. Like, are you happy? Because I feel like this person just didn't feel like they could make the decisions to, like, make them happy. But I feel like this person needs, like, an adventure. Genuinely an adventure. And this person also, they have a lot that whatever they do, they just need to get away from wherever they're at. So anyways, I think I'm going to leave that one there. That's what this person has heard about you. I just heard it again, that song. I heard that you settled down, that you're, that's what I heard, that your dreams came true. Guess they gave you things I didn't give to you. But it's like, that's the energy of this. Well, I guess they gave you things that I didn't give to you. And you're kind of like, they threw the ball back. When I threw the ball to them, they caught it and they threw it back. I think for you, you're just like, I don't understand why you couldn't just throw the ball back, and then you're mad at me and you're acting like this was some big clandestine plot to make you feel shitty about yourself. But really, I just wanted a partner. I just wanted somebody that when I threw them the ball, they would throw the ball back. Maybe we could giggle, pinch each other's butts, and go get a cotton candy afterwards. It's just, I don't know. This feels weird. All right. Perspective, Jess, can change the entire trajectory of your life. I agree so much. We don't realize, I think, how much our psychology and our training and our socialization, all that stuff kind of really does tint the way that we see the world. We think that we see the world so objectively, but what is like the world objectively? Because we make all these judgments of this is good and this is bad and this is, but it just, I don't know. It all just depends on your perspective, I agree so much. Okay, so that was pile number 2. Compassion. Definitely compassion, because this person like really needs it. This person needs a big change. And they need a change in their perspective, but I feel like it goes the other way for this person, or like it can, where they need to change their routine and the people that they're around, and it will change their perspective. Like there's like a correlation that those 2 points have. And this person, I think, knows that they need to change their perspective, but I don't know I mean, I'm a huge advocate for therapy. Like, I think this person could go to therapy, but I think it would just be much more profound for this person to like go on some kind of adventure, even if it was just for a couple of months or something. But even that's like hard for people because you don't want to like lose your job and everything, especially in like this job market and stuff. Like, I don't know. But I just feel like this person needs to like shake something up. They need to know. This is also like a self-trust thing where they need to know that they can take a chance on something that they want to do and do that. And I really feel this person maybe should have done that in their 20s. This also strikes me as a person that's like, I'm such an adventurous person, but it's like they just go to the bar and get fucked up. And they're like, cause I'm not in a suit. I'm not a suit, you know? And it's like, okay, this isn't adventure. This is mess, what you're doing. I'm not saying that's not fun to do that sometimes, but this is like what this person is defining as adventure. What I'm describing is actual adventure. And it's not numbing out. It's not running away from your problems. And I think this person in their 20s, you're never too late to do this kind of shit. You know, like it's harder when you have like responsibilities and you put down roots and stuff. Because I feel like this person may have some kind of responsibilities like that. But like if you do something like that in your 20s, it builds self-trust. And it just proves to you that you are determined to make of your life something. Listen, I want to have one adventure. All right. I'm going to graduate college. That's what I said to myself. I'm going to graduate college. And that was hard for me. Not the schooling part, but just the paying for it part and doing everything part. And once I get my diploma, I'm going on an adventure because I do not want to look back on my 20s and just have it be, I just did all the responsible stuff. I also was not going to throw my future down the toilet, you know? So it was like a lot of that where I did what I needed to do in order to get my feet under me. And then I was like, I'm going to take an adventure. And I did. And it was the best thing I could have ever done. It's like before I kind of like settle down. And I even was like, that's going to look great on my resume that I went and I volunteered and I, you know, that's still something that I feel okay putting on my resume. This person needed to do that. They needed to carve out some kind of space for just them in their life to be like, I'm going to explore me. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a crazy trip that I'm always going to think about, you know? I'm going to go to that place that I've always thought about going. I'm going to pursue that thing that I've always wanted to pursue. Just me, you know? So, yeah. Going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. Okay. Cool. I like wearing wet clothes and being too stubborn to wash up and put on dry ones. I don't know if that makes any sense though. LOL. That's funny. I traveled alone. Yeah. Okay. That was pile 2. So if you're just joining us, we just finished pile number 2, which is the judge. So we've already done the eternal child and the judge, and we're getting ready to do the prayer. So if you just want to look at all the piles here, make up your mind while I just take a little refresher. Let's go. All right. Little bit of this. Lip gloss be popping. I really did just want a life partner, and I thought we could actually be successful as that. But as you said, we have different ideas of what success is. Yeah. I hear Madonna's like a prayer. Oh, interesting. Have you heard the version on Deadpool? So good. It sounds like Eat, Pray, Love. Nice. Okay, so pile 3 is the prayer. All right, so what has this person heard about you? I feel like this person may have just heard something about you. There's no one else thinking of you all day. Please give me a second chance. Okay, so I think this person had like maybe made up their mind. They could have maybe even been very firm-minded about it, but it feels like this person is in a good energy. They could have just heard that you are like striving for them, that you are like raising your vibration in some way, and that you're coming back and that you want a second chance. And that you're in some kind of transition. I feel like they just kind of heard that. And I feel like this person's not even like made up their mind or anything. They're just kind of, you know, like listening to that. They could have also heard, okay, so I just drew this card. It says, I wasn't planning on having anything serious when we met, but I can't deny that I'm falling for you. So they could have heard that maybe you weren't planning on having anything serious, or you could have already been in another situation or something, and that now you want something serious with them, and that you wish that they would be around, you really want a second chance and that you're like focused on them. They could have just heard that in some way. And for some of you, it's like through intuition or something, but they have just heard that. Yeah, they could have heard that you have romantic feelings for them or like affection for them at the very least. Yeah. There could have been some kind of divine intervention here where this person that led to this person leaving, and it could have been that something was found out, and it could have been because maybe you were playing around and maybe this person was more serious about you or something, but it like kind of came out, and maybe they're hearing that you didn't want something serious at first, but now you want something serious, or like now you're ready to kind of do that kind of thing. Yeah, there's something in the way that they're hearing it. They've got to read between the lines. Hidden meaning, vague. So they could have heard this, but like in a vague way, or again, possibly like through intuition. Okay. They want to be honest about something. Possibly about an indecision that they had in the past. That's kind of been a running theme here. So I also think this person maybe wants to talk about values, because I grabbed for the values deck and I was like, interesting, I'm grabbing for the values deck. So maybe they've heard that something about like values, like that you want to talk about values. Okay, what has pile number 3's person heard about them? That you're ready now. I feel like this person like went off on their own, and this doesn't feel like this person feels high vibrational to me, honestly. Like they feel well adjusted. They feel special almost. There's a really powerful energy around this person's mind. Like they're very balanced in their mind. Because I always notice like the diamond here. I just heard diamond in the rough. There's like a diamond in this person's head. I feel like this person's like a diamond. I just heard a dime. So maybe they're hearing that you recognize their worth and their value, and that you're ready now. And this person's in this hermit energy, kind of like looking like at that. They could have heard that maybe you're transforming and moving on from some kind of group. I think this person knows that you're very social, and there's like Mercury moon energy, right? So this is somebody that is kind of, they're not necessarily polished in the way that they say things in a polished way, but there's a natural connectedness to being able to express the pulse of like the group, the pulse of like feelings or something here like that. So, but also there's some kind of group here like around home, or maybe the place where you guys met, or some kind of like family friends or something. They could have heard that you moved on from like that group, some kind of core group. And this is a group that potentially caused trouble or got in the way or kept some kind of secrets. So for some of you, this person, there was a group that was protecting you. And this group was, or maybe you were a part of that group that was protecting somebody else that was harming this person. But they, I think, are hearing that you realized the manipulation of this, and like that you moved away. And that you're working hard on something, and that you're controlling your behavior in some way. Your impulse control, like your emotional regulation is better, that you are getting clean in your life, like your situation, that you're doing really well. This person could actually be hearing that you're doing really well. And yeah, in relation to something about the past, they could also have heard something about a child here. And it might not even be your child. Maybe they heard this through a child. You could have like mutual friends, and there could be like a friend's child or a friend with a child that told this person something about that, about you, or it even could be your mom, or they heard it from like family or something. What else has this person heard? I think this person heard that you love them, or that something changed, and it changed fast. And they could have heard about a message that you sent to somebody else. Maybe you asked somebody to reach out to this person and they heard about that. Or they heard that you traveled, or that you want to travel somewhere. For some of this is like astral travel. This person could have intuitively gotten some kind of message from you, and it just kind of peeked up. They were like, I don't know that there's, it still feels kind of vague, you know, what this person has. And I don't really feel this person getting too hung up on this or like overthinking about this or anything, but they have kind of clocked it in some way. This person, yeah, it's like they've heard that maybe they don't need to protect themselves so much because something that was a problem, you also agree is a problem, and you've like left something here that you've changed. What has this person heard? That you're healing. That you're healing. They also have heard that they broke your heart. If they didn't already know that. They've heard that they broke your heart and that you spent some time alone and that you were healing and that you're resting and that you're in your cocoon. Like in some way, you're in your comfort zone. You've created a comfort around you in some way. And they know that they were in some devil energy in the past. They know that they were like on the strings here, that they tried to have you on their strings, that they left you out in the cold for some, and that for some, this person just heard about what they did to you and how much it hurt you. Okay, yeah, for some of you, if the energies are flipped, because I'm kind of getting that energy too, where this person could have been in devil energy and it was like an icebox. I got an icebox where my heart used to be. This person was just like very cold. They've actually heard that they've hurt you and that your heart was broken, but that you've like started to heal and that you're just that you were in some heart-centered energy towards them in the past, or like that just seems like it was your general demeanor. And maybe that explains some kind of message that was sent or not sent or something. But now you're in air energy and you're learning how to more to be in that air energy, and that you've crossed over in some way. Which somebody was saying, this reminds me of Eat, Pray, Love, because remember her word at the end where it was an Italian word that meant let's cross over. And I feel like you're crossing over in some way. Like you're leaving this chunk of land to go to this continent, maybe for some of you, yeah, like that's what they've heard, is that you're just like leaving them behind because you were in some heart energy and now you are no longer, you've closed out this karmic cycle. Yeah. So I don't know which side of things that you're on, but they've heard it one way or another. For some of you, they heard that you were in some heart-centered energy, so you didn't really have the truth about them being in devil energy. You didn't understand that. They knew that they were in devil energy the whole time, but you didn't have as strong of boundaries as you should have, or you didn't communicate with them maybe as directly, but that you understand the truth now, and that you've turned up your nose to this person. You don't want it, and you've closed out the karmic cycle, and that you're actually doing really well. Yeah, you're doing really well. Okay, so what else has this person heard? Attraversiamo, yes. Okay, what has this person heard, Spirit? Possibly they've heard that you're a busy bee in some way. That you've been like, you've had a lot of experiences. I think this person may just be struggling to kind of like connect the dots. For some, I'm hearing like, what have you heard? This person has heard something that makes them realize that you've like figured them out in some way. And they're like, well, wait, what have you heard? What dots are you connecting? And they're trying to hear that about you. What has this person heard? They've heard that you've balanced out your energy, that you've leveled up in some way, that you're listening to your intuition. They could have heard something here about your spirituality. For some, they've heard something about a marriage. And it doesn't have to be your marriage, because for some of you, they heard that you traveled to like a wedding or something. But take that how it resonates. Something that this person has heard broke the mold that they had of you in their mind. And it kind of made them feel a little bit defensive. But I think you were the one that was defensive in the past. Yeah. This person heard something about the past and about now, and they're connecting. It's like, how did we get from here to there? This person heard something about the past and they heard something about now. But what they didn't hear or what they don't understand is like, how do we get from there to there? They don't understand it. but they know that you're correct. They just don't know how you're correct, you know? Where you potentially heard something from, how you potentially figured something out. So this person's like very confused. Okay, and I'm getting for some of you, this is like from the perspective of that person being in devil energy in the past and you kind of like finding out about it. But for others, I feel like this person was like, it's in like positive energy, but they still could be like, how did you hear about that? How did you find out about that? Even if they were doing something positive, you know, with themselves. This person could be spying on your social media. So they could have heard something about you and then like went to try to find your social media. I don't know if they were successful. Some of you might not have social media or something, but I'm seeing this person like type your name into like different search bars and stuff, or even Googling you or something. Like this person could be trying to look that. For some of you, they've heard something here about an authority that you either maybe are or that you work with or something. I don't know. Okay, let me see. What else? What else has this person heard? This person's really up in their head right now. This person is really up in their head, possibly thinking about a new beginning. They're coming up with all these like different excuses for why you have heard, why whatever this person heard about you made them realize that you know something about them. And it's connected to something here in the past. And their mind just like started going kind of wild about that. I do love you. I just don't know how to show you right now. Okay, so sorry, this is kind of flip-flop because I don't know which side of this that you're on. But if this was you in some devil energy and you realize that this person was in some loving energy and now you want to change and you want to come back to this person because of whatever you heard about them and they heard something recently about you in this kind of vague way, they could have heard that you do love them. You just don't know how to show it. Or something, that there actually is love here, that like if that person was in devil energy coming back, somebody could have heard that they do love you, they just don't act right, you know, kind of thing. There's no one else thinking about you all day. Yeah, somebody here is like heard that maybe somebody only wants them, somebody that was like dicking them around the past. I have to deal with my pain to be able to open my heart to love again. Somebody here was hurt. That goes back to this devil energy person, what they've heard about this other person. I just get the sense that this devil energy person wants back in this other person's life. And this other person is like, I have to heal my heart. And this person maybe didn't realize to the extent that this other person was hurt and that they had to repair their heart. Because they're like, I would like to make a comeback. And it's like, I'm not really ready for all of that. Plus, like, you had me flat on my ass for a while. Because I'm like all heart energy and I had to learn through dealing with people like you and other kinds of people like you, that I need to be more in my air energy. I have to be observant. I can't be out here ignoring these red flags. And frankly, I'm a little trepidatious of letting somebody who hurt me as badly as you hurt me anywhere near me again, because it's taken me a while to get back up on my feet. And I don't really want to go through that again. I still love you and I can't stop thinking about you. What is this? I hope to have a future with you one day. So somebody here is hearing that somebody wants to have a future with them. I can't take being away from you any longer. Either this person has heard you saying those things about them, and this is like new. This is like, because you really hurt this person in the past, or you were very flippant, or you're very short-sighted, or you were in some devil energy. And I don't think you realized just how heart-centered this person really was for whatever reason. I just heard it's the look of them. This person's really hot. That's what I hear. And so you just kind of assumed that people who are hot in the way this person is hot, there's a lot of people who are attractive in different ways. This person maybe has like a sex pot kind of look, but they're all heart energy actually. And I think that you just thought that this person must have been full of themselves. So you treated them very gruff. You treated them very rough. And you shouldn't have, because this person's a sweetie. This person is like very sensitive. And so either like that is the person who is hearing something about you that all of a sudden you realize this about them. All this, and that explains your behavior. At least like you think that explains your behavior of like, I didn't realize that you were a good person. I just thought that you were hot. I just thought that I could treat you whatever way. Like I just thought that I needed to muscle you around or something. I don't know, something like that. But they're hearing like, I just want to be with only you. I something like that. Or somebody else here is hearing that. I don't know. This goes both ways. I hope that your brain can flip it, because I'm kind of getting lost in the sauce here. Okay, what else has this person heard? Well-deserved reward. that you're having some kind of well-deserved reward. For some, I think that they feel like you are their well-deserved reward. You went through some kind of challenging time and you are getting some kind of well-deserved reward. But I think for some of you, because I'm still seeing like that bird's nest and you in there with your heart healing, and I'm seeing the hermit. So this well-deserved reward could just be like peace. You know, you're just feeling peaceful, even in your like aloneness. Yeah, I'm hearing that Taylor Swift song. It's like, I'm doing better than I ever was. My baby's fit like a daydream, walking with his head down. So maybe for some of you, this person thinks that you're getting a well-deserved reward in terms of somebody that you're seeing. And it could be that you're seeing somebody that's like, you know, got it going on. Like that might be your forever person. Or at the very least, they think that you're dating somebody like sexy, or call it what you want to. That's the song from Taylor Swift. Like, and you're just like, call it what you want to. Maybe this is my boyfriend or girlfriend. Maybe this is just a fling. I don't know. I like being around this person. Nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing better than I ever was. That's the line that I'm hearing. So it could be that this person's hearing nobody's heard from you for months, but then when they went to check in on your social, maybe that's it. For some of you, this person went to like check in with somebody and they were like, I don't know, we haven't really, this person dipped off. Like we haven't heard from them for months. And so this person Googled you or something, and then they saw that you're doing better than you ever was. Coming together. You've mastered your heart space. And for some of you, this is like defense. Look, that heart is like a cage around it. But it looks like he's the magician and he's like healing it and making it glow or something. This person's observing you. I think this person heard something. And whatever they heard, either was something about like you being in some heart space energy and you shouldn't have been in the past. And you learned that and you acted accordingly. Or they heard, I haven't heard about this person in a long time. Whatever they heard, I think made them look you up. And now they're observing. And I think this person is like wanting to come back. Look at all this heart-centered energy. They are just seeing like, you are all heart. You are so loving. I don't know why I didn't see that about you before. I think it has to do with the look of you, pile number 3. I think you either look like very stern and very gruff, or again, I think you look hot, but you look hot in like a sex pot kind of way. I don't know that it's a sweet hot. I don't know that it's like Little House on the Prairie hot. I think it's like you look hot. And so this person thought that meant something about your personality, that you were not a heart-centered person, that you shouldn't have been treated kindly, and that maybe you weren't going to be kind to them. Maybe they thought you weren't a relationship person or something. I don't know. But this person has like changed their mind about you. Dreams coming true. They could have heard that your dreams are coming true, or that you are a dream come true, actually. That's kind of what I'm getting. That you're in the flow. They're hearing good things. Like you're in the flow here. This is kind of like choppy too. And I think this person's questioning what they're hearing and they're questioning what they're observing because they don't know much and people haven't heard from you. So, or like the people that they talk to haven't heard from you. And so they're trying to kind of like piece it together. Like, what am I looking at? Is this their energy? Is this my energy? Like they're kind of trying to piece it together, but they're seeing you as like in some joy, like you found your joy and stability, but I think they're also realizing that like you were their joy and stability, something like that. I think somebody here took a win or lose mindset where instead of just let's go with the flow. There's something here about that, like where somebody here is like in flow state and somebody else was like they were very win or lose, and it was very black and white. It's choppy. Something about this person's energy is choppy to me, where it just like it just like kind of their processing or something, at least in the past, was very much like it's win or lose. It's yes or no. It's black or white. And somebody else here is like very much just in like this flow state, you know, where they just relate to things. They just get to know things. They're just curious. They're just in the flow. Things can be a little bit of this and they can be a little bit of that. I'd love to know where the line is. You know, it can be a little bit of a yes and it can be a little bit of a no. I'd love to know where that line is. Like, you know, it's just somebody here is like very observant and very nuanced. And somebody here is kind of more of a blunt object in certain areas of their life, and they've heard something about that. I really think it would be hard for this person to understand you, even if they had heard something, because you process things so differently. Like I said, I think this person's listening through the lens of like, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a this or is it a that? And really, it's like somebody else here is just more in flux, in flow. Yeah, and I think they're trying to figure out like maybe if you're in love with somebody, but I feel like This is reminding me of like somebody who's like embracing the whole world. And I'm hearing from Eat, Pray, Love, where he's like, groceries, I really think that you're the kind of person one day that could learn to love the whole world. And maybe you even have like a lofty goal like that. And this person doesn't understand love in those terms. They only understand romantic love. They don't understand that maybe some of you are pursuing something different, like a spiritual path, for instance, you know, where you're trying to like love the whole world. You're engaged with your friendships, you know, in whatever way, in a way that this person doesn't actually understand. But I feel like good things flow from you from that space, because all you're interested in doing is finding the love energy in your life and engaging with it and tending to it wherever it is. You know, you're not in denial about anything. And this person is like, where's the romantic love? And it's like, there's love all around you in a way that this person maybe can't process. I don't know. This person's really seeking some kind of answers. They want to seek, I feel like there's a lot of sexual energy here. They want to open you up in like more ways than one, but they're seeking some kind of information. I think they want to know who you're sleeping with. Or they want to manifest that kind of connection here with you too. They want to take the lead, but they've heard that you've taken the lead in your own life in some way and in your own healing around like your heart space. This is so choppy. It's still coming through like really just like, throat chakra, heart chakra. They want to maybe communicate their heart, or they've heard that you are doing this. Huh. What has this person heard about you? Okay, not happy and secrets came out. So that you're not happy about some kind of secret or secretive energy that this person was in, or that because for some of you, this person kept secrets for someone else. Like they weren't necessarily the perpetrator, but this person should have told you something because they were your family or they were your friend. And they did owe that to you. So for some of you, that's like the kind of connection. So they're hearing that you're not happy, but I feel like this person's keeping quiet about that. And this person still doesn't entirely know what you know and if they should open up about it. But they also are not happy that you're keeping certain things to yourself. Yeah, and possibly because I go back to that where it's nobody's heard from me for months. I'm doing better than I ever was. So like this person is maybe upset that nobody's heard from you for months, or that they in particular haven't. I actually think that this person is upset that nobody's heard from you for months, that you're not keeping in touch with anybody from that toxic, noxious group. So they're having maybe some kind of secret. This is a person who is definitely spying on your social media, or they're Googling you. Like even if they're not on your social media in particular, they're just like Googling you and seeing what comes up kind of thing. Karmic ties. Secret counts, romance, and backstab. I'm getting that this person stabbed you in the back, basically. Or they could have heard that you dealt with that. So, yeah, this person could, there's a lot of people that could be coming through in this. Like, for some, this person knows you through a group where there was some kind of, like, backstab. Like some kind of romance. Maybe this person didn't know about that, but they're hearing about that and they're like, that's why this person doesn't come around anymore, is because there's something that was going on between them and somebody else. Either you were in a relationship with that person, or it was some kind of flirty, somebody here did something that they shouldn't have, and other people covered for that or were terrible, and now this person doesn't feel safe to come around all of us. I think this person may be pissed, and it might not even be at you. It might be at all these people that don't know how to behave. And it's like, oh, this person doesn't come around anymore because you suck? You do suck. And if we could trade, I'd trade 10 of you for one of them. So how do we make that work? Somebody here is like actually pissed. Like, why are you in our group? You. And this person is now not speaking to any of us. None of us want that. You've got to go. Like, you know, and anyone who would keep a secret for you over this person has also got to go. I feel like for some of you, there may be, actually, I don't really get that there's going to be a karmic push, but for some of you, this person may actually start speaking this truth to other people. Like, yeah, that person apparently doesn't come around because this idiot. And other people this group might splinter. They might actually fracture away, which would be a very healing energy. Because I think you have dirty, rotten eggs in this group. And I think you have moon people, like nurturing people. Possibly even glamorous people that are like in the right way, in the right energy. They shine lights on things. They help people see in the dark in a comforting kind of way. I think you've got a blend of people here, and this group does need to pull those two people apart. because then they can't have nice things. And that's what they are hearing. And so I think you've got some healthier people who are going to start talking and say, if we want to make sure that good people are at the family reunion, that cool people show up to the reunion, we can't be tolerating that. And for some of you, it's like, I just saw somebody grab somebody by the ear and they're like, I know you're not a piece of shit. What? You need to do whatever you need to do to say you're sorry over there. And maybe that's like where this is kind of blending in with like this person who was in devil energy. And it's like, I just saw somebody grab that person by the ear and they're like, I know you care about her. So why is your mouth, what's going on here? Like, and so you want to fuck that person instead of just going and saying you're sorry. What is wrong with you? Like, we can't have nice things. Somebody here, I think, is feeling very frustrated. There's multiple people here that play different roles on the field. And somebody here is just beside themselves. Because like they really liked you, or like you were the cool person that they looked forward to getting together with. And you're the one person that doesn't come to these stupid reunions because of all the rotten eggs that are just continuing to be rotten. I'm just smelling like that sulfury rotten egg smell. And this person's like, God, this sucks now. I think for some, like, people are really realizing what you bring to the table, that your energy, they thought this group was cool. Nah, you're cool. And you had this way of like bringing light to the table, bringing people together, making people laugh. I think this person thought that like this group was cooler than they actually are, but you had a way of bringing out the best in people, or you had a way of like smoothing things over when somebody would say something stupid, to where like this person and other people didn't realize how stupid some people were, or like, yeah, what was like going on. And so I think there are people here who are just like, enough of this. And they're going to stop sending invitations to certain people that suck. So when they get to the reunion, and you may actually notice that, and this person may actually, in some way, show you who they've invited, so that you can see this person who fucked you over and all the people that kept their dirty little secret. Those people are not on the guest list. Like for some of you, like this person's going to show you that, or like there's at least one person that is like, this group is trash without pile number 3, and potentially you have maybe friends that you hang out with. Like maybe there's a group of you guys. Yeah, I think there's been some real truth here where it's like, God, this sucks. Backstab. And for some of these people, they're realizing that they basically were like excusing this bad behavior. They were, what is it? Like they were being a doormat, but no, it's like not codependent, but enabling. They were enabling this because they didn't make a stand for goodness. So now the good people just have to leave. And now this group is trash. And like, it's not even fun to go to these reunions. And they just really wish that like whoever caused all the problems would like leave. And I think for some though, they really are getting ready to like cut that energy out, or just be like, you cannot come around anymore because listen, you're rude and terrible. And this person's not. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Yeah, like why can't I get into that? But I did say that for a while. We're back on that. I don't want to go to their debauchery parties. They're filth. Yes, Jess, please talking about the group, please. Okay, let's see. What wants to come out about the group? I just heard group talk. Look, we had legal matters show out. So I don't know if there's been some kind of legal issue or just decisional issue, because this kind of feels like judge energy of who's coming to the reunion. Who are they inviting? Or this group could have gotten into some kind of legal trouble, or some members of this group could have actually. Look, pregnancy, fake news, DNA. There could be some kind of judgment call here about somebody made up a lie about a pregnancy or something. They made up some kind of fake news. Look, divine masculine workplace affair. So for somebody here made up a fake pregnancy, and it could have been this divine masculine said a lie about you being pregnant or somebody else being pregnant, or and people are like realizing that. Or that somebody that this man was in a relationship with made up a lie about like some kind of fake pregnancy, either theirs or yours, or some weird shit here. Look, twin flames, divine masculine and twin flames. So there's like a soulmate energy here that had like a workplace affair, and then there's some kind of weird fake news shit going on. And look, jackass closing the cycle and turning your back. There is talk. I feel like some drama went on here. And there was a bunch of lies and bullshit and everything. And somebody here, I feel like this divine masculine is having to eat his words. I really don't like this person. I don't like calling this person a divine masculine because they're not behaving in a divine way. I feel like this is probably a karmic masculine, but there could have been a soulmate connection here. They had some kind of weird workplace affair. Now this person, I think this group may even be looking at this person like, get right with yourself. Get right. Say you're sorry. Look at his face. Look how sad he looks. Look at his hands. It's like, get right with yourself. Cry if you need to, but stop this. Stop this. You know? Admit that you were a jackass, that you're a clown. And that you tried to put some kind of like smile on your face when you were not feeling that. Stop doing that. Somebody here could be really pulling this masculine aside and be like, stop trying to put a smile on your face when you feel like shit and you made this person feel like shit. And now everybody's like keeping your secret for you. It's ruining this group. Stop. You got to close this cycle. You got to turn your back on some kind of something here, some kind of workplace affair or some kind of something here. But I feel like this is you actually turning your back. Like you're closing the cycle. So there's been some kind of like talk about this for some. Legal matters and married. Yeah. So this could have happened at a wedding. And I think people could have been looking forward to seeing you or like your group of friends or something. And like you didn't go. Okay. Tell me more about this group. Losing sleep, worried, replaying events, thinking about you, and crazy ex. So for some of you, this was like, you had somebody that was bothering you in this group. Like this is not somebody that you thought was a soulmate. This is not somebody that you thought was the divine masculine. This is somebody that's crazy. This is like a crazy psycho ex. And they're losing sleep because they potentially kept secrets for this crazy person and they went after you for this crazy person. So for some of you, a lot's gone on in this group. Like we could have like multiple scenarios that are playing out or just like take whichever one is resonating. But yeah, they feel like shit. Like a lot of people here are feeling like shit because they're like, look at this face. Okay. Like if that's not nightmare fuel, it's like, hi, I'm sorry. You weren't expecting me. Was I supposed to call first? Like this is like scary. And somebody here is like really feeling like shit. And they feel like, yeah, it could have gotten them karma. They could have been in a legal situation for somehow, or this person who is like a psycho ex, there could be talk about this person being arrested for some, maybe I just heard aggravated stalking. Maybe that's for you, or maybe that's somebody else that this person had like moved on to that had the misfortune of meeting this person. Yeah, blocked. So there's a lot of, and there could be talks about you tried to block this person. And maybe some of these people helped this person get around your blocks and they should not have done that. You would know if this happened as well. Well, maybe not, because I feel like there was secretive energy. Oh, there were secret conversations here. So somebody here could have helped a literal crazy person get around your blocks. You are healthy. You were trying to protect yourself. Oh, that's what I'm getting with the nest energy. You were trying to protect yourself. You were trying to heal yourself. And then these people allowed this person to like take another shot at you. These people are feeling like shit about that. There's talks about it. I feel like there was some kind of secret conversation. And now there's secret conversations about how fucked up that was and about the healing and the nurturance and about them seeing something clearly. Cause it's like, but it's seeing something with like the moon, the light of the moon. It's like a softer light. Like they're still in the dark, but they're actually starting to see something that they didn't see before. And they're starting to talk about it. Look, spell, love spell, maybe romance. Somebody here could have tried to interject here, like gone round and round about their feelings. There's a lot that this group is talking about. Possibly about popping the question. They want to ask you a question. Okay, and then I just heard, can I ask you a question? That Taylor Swift song. Yeah. I think that somebody here is like thinking about asking you a question. Oh, they could be getting readings. Or they could be talking about you getting readings because you got readings and you figured out something that they didn't think you knew. They're talking about your behavior though, that like, you're hot, then you're cold. But you're hot and you're cold because I think you were treated poorly in this situation. And people are putting together how and why you are the way you are, why potentially you ghosted. Or maybe somebody here ghosted and then you became hot and cold and detached. Somebody here is illuminated about the karmic lessons that are going on here in this group. Because I feel like there's a lot of people here living in unconsciousness, and they were living in unconsciousness because something wasn't dragged out into the light of day. And it's mostly this like, there's hidden collusion in this group. It's very cliquish. It's very cliquish. And so it's not out in the light of day to get checked by the truth. But these people there's more than one person here, so they think that they have the truth. It gives this false kind of confidence. Well, this is your perception, right? Well, this is your perception. I also get the sense that I'm getting 4 people in a room talking. I'm getting the sense that none of these 4 people were actually in the room when something happened. None of these 4 people actually witnessed some kind of private interaction that went on between you and another person. None of them did. So they don't have the truth. But I think they're really in the past, they really stood on something, even though they didn't have the truth because there was 4 different people saying it. And they thought, well, we must be right because there's 4 of us. But literally not a one of them actually knew what was going on. They just kind of fed that. They thought that they had some kind of authority in that because there's 4 of them. And 4 is the number of the emperor. So maybe this is like, maybe the 4 of them had some kind of authority. They feel like they have authority in this group, maybe. Or they're the keepers of like a certain social order. That's what I'm getting. We have to, pecking order, I just heard. There's a pecking order. They might have decided to like peck you, to like knock you down a peg, because that's the order of things in this group, because this person's the leader and not that person. And so they just took it upon themselves. And I think this is very unconscious. So these are people that also may well be discovering that, in fact, they are misogynistic. In fact, they are racist. In fact, they are ageist. In fact, they are xenophobic. Like, it's something, I just got goosebumps. Yes, that they don't want to admit it, but that's a part of what, it's some kind of ism. This person took a side because of some kind of ism. And schism is what I'm hearing. And it caused some kind of schism. They thought you couldn't possibly be right. They thought you couldn't possibly have been injured. They thought that, and it's because of the social order is always right, or the group is always right. Well, not in this case. And I feel like these people are learning a lesson that they are never going to forget. And that's what they're kind of talking about. And I think there's a lot of talk about what they didn't hear from you again, is what I'm hearing. But why would they hear from you when these people have been so nasty? They've been so treacherous towards you. And they didn't hear your side of it. But I don't think they asked. I think these people got super clandestine and they told you what the truth was. You who were in the room, you who were on the receiving end of some kind of abuse, you who had made a decision to protect yourself. These people were like, this is what happened in the room on January 7th of 2009 at 3:30 p.m. And it's like, really? I don't remember you being there actually. But these people just automatically did not take your side. And I think it's because of the way that you look. Some of you look a certain way, and it might actually be hot, even for this group. And they're like, hot people always lie, or they're always full of themselves, or some of you, it's like you could have been young, and they're like, young people are always confused. Young people are always stupid, and old people are always right. None of the old people are ever stupid, and none of the old people are ever liars. It's something here like that. And this person is just realizing that they're not very smart, or they're not very inquisitive, like about, we need to gather the facts here. And there could have been drinking that was involved here with the moon energy. Because moon is just illusions. And they could have actually been sucked into thinking that something here was glamorous. And it could have also been like to do with the social order of things. Like, I'm sort of getting patriarchy with this. I'm sort of getting like, it's really glamorous to like fuck up a woman's life in order to like let her know that she's at the mercy of a man. It's like something here like that. Like if he says that he didn't touch her, he didn't touch her. And so we're going to make her pay for that. Like, for saying that he touched her. Really, you're crying and you're reaching out for help. You're terrified. You need like assistance. It's something here like that. Something really fucked up went on here is like what I'm getting. It's insidious is what I'm getting to. And there's something that like played on the mind of these people. It's their own mind, their own fears, their own illusions that allowed them to participate in this to further the harm that happened here. Because it was bad enough whatever happened. But I feel like that even the harm, you were confused about the harm. Because I also think that you were gaslit. And like all these people were like, but like that's just the way that guys are, or something like that. I think he really likes you. Like I was like literally attacked one time and my friend was like, I think he really likes you. And I was like, oh my God. No, I think he's got a problem. And I was really young at that time too. And I still knew that something was wrong. And I feel like that's like, there's something here where intuitively that something's wrong. But all of the conversations around you or like within this group are not reflecting that back. They're reflecting back some kind of like illusion. Yeah. Just be gay. Yeah. And I'm just using like very specific examples here because this could really be anything, but it's just, that's what it's reminding me of is that this respectable pillar of our community, this man, and I think for some of you, it might well be, it's something here where this person in comparative to you is bigger than you in some way, in some like loose way. They could literally be taller. They could be male. They could be white. They could be more established in the work environment. They could be older. There's something here where it was like seen as bigger. And this goes to like some kind of underlying, these people are getting a hefty dose of truth of like, guess what? You can be taller than someone and older than someone and still lie and be fucked up, But there was something that led to a credibility to this person and it was absolutely meaningless. Whatever it was that they were like attached to. Yeah. And They're learning that. They're learning that you were right the whole time, actually. But they're learning that like your behavior changed after this. And it's trauma. Like trauma will do that because you felt one way about this group of people. And then all of a sudden, all this shit started happening and you got hot and cold. You got distanced. You got detached. And these people are kind of putting this together. Like you actually make sense. They're realizing that they got sucked into something fucked up. And also they're realizing that, oh my God, I can't believe I couldn't sit down for 2 seconds and just tell myself I was not in the room. So I don't know what happened. And if I don't know what happened, I should be asking some questions or I should stay out of it. Because I would absolutely hate to further cause harm to somebody here in this situation because somebody here has been harmed and I don't know who it is. And maybe they both were harmed, but it's not up to me to take sides. And I also get that there's maybe not an authority involved in this. Like whoever this group was, there's not an authority. There's a social power of these people coming together and holding some kind of block or holding some, but they're not, let me put it to you this way. God herself didn't crown any of these motherfuckers king. None of them. They have no God-given authority in this situation to make a decision. They've taken it for themselves in some kind of order. And they did it. This is like giving me like, and they're like laughing and they think it's harmless. They think this is actually harmless. This is like reminding me of somebody who thinks doing a love spell on somebody is harmless. When you're interfering in somebody's life, you're taking away their sovereignty. There's nothing harmless about that, which is why I got candles here that break love spells. And that manifests somebody in that's also manifesting you. And it's like just very respectful. I don't believe in manifesting an individual. That's on some crazy psycho X shit. That's on some I don't respect you shit. That's not love. Right? It's not love. That's somebody who's trying to shrink your world. That's somebody who's trying to shrink your choices. That's not somebody who is supportive of you. Love liberates. If you don't want to love me like that, then I'm going to learn how to love you as a friend because I'm not a psycho. You know, it's like, it's on that energy. So this was messed up actually. What went on here. And I don't think these people had a clue that it was as messed up as it was. This is on some fucked up. This is a nasty group and there's a nasty mindset here and it's very hidden. And I think these people lost you and I think these people had a weird fear around you. And they couldn't look at whatever their fear was directly. So instead they ganged up on you. And also, I don't think these people think that it was ganging up on. They tried to have a say in your decision or they tried to reflect back something to you that did not occur. They tried to reflect something back to you that was not actually the truth because they took the side of a liar. What I'm hearing. They took the side of a liar. They believed somebody and they believed them for some arbitrary reason. It was because of their social standing. It was because of their proximity to them. Whatever it was, it's meaningless in regards of like figuring out who is true and who is not true. That's not the way you find out who's true, is the person that you know more, you know? There needs to be an objectivity, an intelligence that's brought to this. And this could have even happened while these people were drinking. And this liar could have known that. They could have been like, let's get everybody loosened up here where their mental faculties are not good. I'm going to tell them some kind of lie. They're going to believe it. They're going to back me up and they're going to reflect they're going to gaslight my victim for me. They're going to flying monkey for me. That's for some of you. And it could have been this like crazy person that's like your ex, or maybe it's like their ex friend or ex something here. Somebody is realizing that. They're putting it together. And I'm hearing Rhiannon, the Rhiannon card, because Rhiannon was like framed as like somebody who killed her own child, but she was framed by her husband's mother. And there's this one quote that I always remember from that where they said, never did he use his intelligence less, because his wife was a beautiful person. And if he had just stopped to like think about the patterns here, or even to just think what he has access to in terms of knowledge and what he doesn't and how decisions could be made and the level of impact that these decisions would have, never did he use his intelligence less. I feel like a lot of these people are like, I really was not smart about this. There was no intelligence going on here whatsoever. And I posted up for somebody here, and they're really regretting doing that because they posted up for a nasty person. And they're learning a lesson here that spirit is not going to let them forget quickly, because this person has gone on. This person has done this to other people, and this person will go on to do this to other people if they're not like stopped and like actually reflected here. That's what I'm saying. If this group is still together, which not for all of them they are, but if they are, they're getting ready to oust this person. Somebody here is. Or like somebody here is like starting to have these conversations with, yeah, you know, like this person is like fucked in the head. And they're like, yeah, I actually kind of thought that too. I feel really bad about what we did to so-and-so because they were innocent and they didn't deserve that. And I really should have just minded my own business and butted out of it. Or I didn't realize like what was going on behind the scenes. I didn't realize that. So yeah, that's Luna. So somebody here is like up in their feelings, or like this group is up in their feelings, and they're starting to see your side of it, emotionally, your side of it. And they're starting to understand that you were right. And I think that you were right, because I don't think that you actually stuck the landing on like, this person's terrible. If you did, I think it just over time, seeing like the flying monkeys, seeing the gaslighting, seeing the fact that none of these people were in the room where it happened, the room where it happened. Lots of Russians in the room where it happened. Sorry, shout out to the Randy Rainbow fans. But yeah, not like you had to kind of put together. It barked like a narc, and it quacked like a narc. And so there's a narc here, and flying monkeys who are just under this like narc fantasy that got sucked into some kind of narc fantasy. And it's just not that way. And I think something has like popped the bubble. It's not that way. And these people are realizing that it's not that way. The way they thought it was, and that they did something terrible. They literally did. And I think they could be talking to somebody in secret. I just heard their mom. They could be talking to their mom about it, or somebody from their family, or possibly a therapist. They're talking to somebody that's very like nurturing, and they're like, oh my gosh. For some of you, it's like this person was like abused, and I didn't believe them, and I allowed their abuser to keep going. I gave their abuser cover. Or a level of like social ability or something, civility. I took their side. And meanwhile, somebody was actively being victimized, and I didn't help them. Not only did I not help them, I like furthered the abuse. So yeah. I'm overwhelmed. It's been a year, and I'm still feeling and putting together things. They did the most unspeakable things. I literally heard somebody explain this. When you are in the presence of a master manipulator, you do not know heads from tails. You don't know what to believe. You don't know if up is down, if right is wrong, if left is right. You just don't. And whenever you're in that situation, especially for me, it's always like the two people pointing their fingers at each other. That's a red flag for me to just like pause, because narcissists are the kings and queens of projection. And they will tell you exactly what they did. And they will say that their victim did that to them. And it's just not the case. And it can be hard to figure out who's doing that and who's relaying the accurate information. But you can kind of look for certain things. And I feel like humility was actually one of the clues in this, because whoever was being victimized here, I don't think that they were like, at first, I don't think this person was like, this person is terrible, they did this on purpose. I think that they were actually very compassionate, and they were trying to understand. And if they ran to people for help, they were like, I don't really know what to do about this. Can you help me figure out what to do about this? Whereas I feel like the narc, even if it was, they were kind of trying to give lip service to that, I think that really the underlying thing was like, it's very much victim rescuer persecutor. If you really listen to what they're saying, I'm the victim. This person is the persecutor. I need you to be the rescuer. That's the tint always from the jump. Even if they're saying, maybe they did this or maybe they did that, but they're going to keep on it because that's how they get you to flying monkey for them. And that's when you think that you're the rescuer. You're actually the persecutor. You think you're coming in to challenge the persecutor, and you're actually victimizing or re-victimizing the victim. Narcs will suck you into that cycle, and you got to break free from that. And for some of you, like, this is a wake-up call for this group of like, they can no longer think of themselves as good people, as like playing the rescuer role. They have to see that they played the persecutor role. Spirit is making them see that actually they were the persecutor. And yeah, did they get played? Yes, they did. But they got played moon energy, mind energy. Mercury energy is mind energy. It's pattern recognition. This person, this group, had the ability, or should have at their stage, I just heard at their late stage in development, meaning these people are not children. They should have known how to get to the truth, or at least get to some level of truth of like, there's a lie here. Somebody's not telling the truth. And if this isn't clear to me, this is a tenet of permaculture. When in doubt, do nothing. When in doubt, do nothing, because otherwise you're going to make more of a mess. These are people that made more of a mess. And it's worse too, because they didn't just make more of a mess. They victimized somebody on behalf of the abuser. They took that onto their conscience. They took that onto their soul, where they were like, you don't need to abuse this person. We'll do it for you. That's essentially like what happened here. But it has to do with smarts. It has to do with, and feelings and emotions and some kind of fears and some kind of, and it could be fear because you got a group here. So for some of these people, it might have peeked up on their radar where they were like, I don't think this person's telling the whole truth, but they were like, but if I challenge it, am I going to be tossed out of this group? So this is a wake-up call for this group of codependency is what I'm getting, and like why they went along with this. And I just don't think Spirit is going to let this person or these people forget about it. You need to get to the bottom of why you participated in this, because this is such a big, hefty consequence that you levied at somebody else. So it's unacceptable and you got to get to the bottom of it. Oh, yeah. Their group is going to falter. The best thing that could happen is this group will break up because they bring out the worst in each other. And I think this is a group that's glued together, even if it's a family. It's glued together by their fears and insecurities. I think let me put it this way. There's definitely some people in this group that need to be ousted. Remember I was saying in the beginning that you have healthy people that are this moon energy. They are nurturing. They shine the light on things that need to in a kind way, but they tolerate fools. They just do. And I think they think they're being nice or they're being kind. Oh, I just don't really like to rock the boat. You don't get to decide. This person's rocking the boat. You decide whether it's around you and you're going to sit back and watch them do that, or whether it can't be around you. That's what you need to decide, because they're rocking the boat. The boat's being rocked. So you don't get to decide that. You need to decide if it will go on and affect the people around you, kind of thing. And that's where I feel like some people need to be, in no uncertain terms, ousted from this group so that the cool people can come back, is what I'm getting. Don't be nice. Call it. I would say another thing is clear communication. There's something here where the communication needs to be clear. And I think somebody here spoke to a lie, and also somebody here could have appealed to family, or they could have appealed to feelings. But this was not clear communication. None of these people were speaking clearly to each other, even in this like little clandestine meeting. The clear communication. And it's not necessarily mean communication, but if somebody's being a dick, like I think it needs to be said. I think if you got to call a spade, it needs to be said. So this is a group that's learning about like clear communication just pierces through the fantasy, because there is something that somebody here could have said. I think it's just even a question like, so tell me more about that. Like what happened? So what do you mean this or that? Like clarifying questions. And it just would have cut right through the fantasy. And they could have at the very least just heard that this story doesn't add up. So I'm going to stay out of it. This story actually doesn't add up. At the very least, I'm just going to stay out of it. And that would have been a win. Karmically speaking, that would have been a win. And I think this person, like they maybe naturally would have distanced themselves or something, or they would have allowed something to play out in the way that it naturally needed to. So this is a big karmic lesson that's going on here. They wanted to gain something. Truth tellers are crucified. Oh my gosh. So I've been listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's this one talk that he gave that it gives me goosebumps every time. And every time I listen to it, I get something more out of it. But he says people are scared to live for the truth because they're convinced that they'll have to die for it. And the reason they're convinced that this is like why we can't have more truth tellers in our world is because you have so many people who will just sit and they'll not take a side when they really do need to, when somebody has been harmed here. But these people, they took it in a fucked up way, like their intuition was telling them, so it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. But it's like somebody here just needs to, I think what happened in this group is you've got people here who are like, I don't want to be on my own, so I'm loyal to this group when they should be loyal to the truth. And being loyal to the truth is going to attract better groups to them, better people to them, and just also not being afraid to like call out bullshit or say what you really think. I don't think this is a group that can say what they actually think to each other. And there's a lot of deflection and a lot of glamorizing and a lot of like, maybe, I know I come from a family where if you could say it funny, you could say it at all. So I didn't realize how, what's the word? Non-direct, like my communication was, because I grew up in that environment where I didn't feel like I could say what I actually just wanted to say and like not be blamed for it or crucified for it or whatever. So I would just try to say it kind of funny. And I've had so many people in my life, and I really do thank God for these people that were like, what do you really mean by that? Like, not everything's a joke, Jessica, or like, and I didn't realize how much I was trying to like deflect or like hide from my own truth through humor. And it's because I just didn't want to say something hard, or I didn't want to say what I was scared of, or something like that, And I feel like this group does that. It might not be through humor, but it's through something where they deflect. They don't say the truth. And they think they have more of a bond than they do because of it. But the bond really is just they all hide behind the skirts of the other ones. And we've all possibly been in groups like this. At least in elementary school you were, even if you really did like outgrow this. But I mean, it's easy to get sucked into the group dynamic. Groups are always ruled over by the moon. And the moon, even if it's an entire group of men, because the moon's a very feminine planet, and groups like just like they kind of go to the tide. And this manipulator kind of knows that. And I feel like there was something about this situation here where everybody was drinking, or it was like family, something was appealed to, emotions were appealed to, but the truth was never appealed to, because this person was like, this is the classic abuser of, but we're family. Bitch, this person isn't family to anybody. They don't show actual loyalty to anybody. But this person's going to run amok in the family, and then they're just going to expect to be forgiven because they're family. When really there needs to be a blockade, and everybody needs to be like, then fucking act like it. Family's not about just blood. Family should have loyalty. Nobody should have to put up with your bullshit. How about that? Yeah. All right. So anyways, that group, like, it just brings out so much in me. But also, I recognize that I think I've been on both sides of this. Like, I've definitely been a person who's been scared to stand up, and I can't stand that in myself. And that's why I have this personality now that's like come out more and more. And a lot of you have seen this in me. If you've been on my channel for like a long period of time, you probably have noticed some level of like, I used to kind of pussyfoot around things, and I would be very scared to like say what I felt or like what I was actually picking up on in the cards. Because I've also been subject to that kind of abuse where people will, if I point out that someone's doing something fucked up, they're like, it's fucked up that you called that out. I grew up in a family like that, and I grew up around people like that, where if you want to be like, that person, that's wrong, that's objectively wrong, then people are like, oh, we don't talk like that around here. Like, I'm sure he didn't mean it. Like, I am the first person, and I know this about myself, in my mind, I'll go over and over and over it. Well, what could it possibly have been? So if I get to a point where I'm like, that is absolutely wrong, and we should not be okay with that going on, I know that I'm not just being mean. I know that I'm scared of like what's going to happen or what's potentially already happened. And it's not a kind stance to let that go on unchecked, because that person who I feel like I need to call out, they've hurt at least 4 other people, guarantee you. That one person needs to be held accountable, and it's going to hurt their ego, which is not the same thing as hurting their emotions. It's going to hurt their ego. It's the best thing that can happen for all of us. Somebody's got to have the balls to do it. And I'm sick of being 5'4" and a girl and being the only one who has got fucking balls to just be like, sit down, and like me being the one to like have to make the stand. I'm sick of that. And then also being told that like, well, you're not fit for a leadership position. Let's give it to the 6-foot tall dude over here who's like playing with his dick and like he's part of the problem, or he's like, I'm sick of it. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So then I get judgy. Yeah. And that's healthy judgment, right? Because judgment energy, it's like, sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. That's healthy judgment energy, right? And you do that because, they say like, you can't correct a problem unless you admit that you have one. That's healthy judgment energy. But this is a sick group that needs to admit that they have a problem. So if you look at this group as an entity, this organism needs to say, I'm sick and I got to do something about it. And that this group is refusing to do that. So they're going to like fall away. Jessica. Yeah. So, yeah. They get the benefits of this behavior. Catherine, that is a very good point, because there is something that every single person in this group benefits from by either being quiet, not calling something out, being associated with this liar. And for some, it's just they get to have this image of themselves as being a good person, or if they buy into the narc fantasy, because again, the narc is going to tell you, this person's the victim, this person's the persecutor. They like to assign roles. And so if you do this, then you're the hero. If you do this, then you're the persecutor. They love to have that kind of the frame. They like to control the frame. They like to have that level of control. And so then if you buy into that narc fantasy and you're like, I did what they asked, I'm the rescuer, you get a benefit of that. Of like, I stood up for family, or I stood up for the group, and really all you did is victimize somebody. And that's the truth of it, but you're never going to see it because you're benefiting psychologically and emotionally, because you feel like you're accepted by this group. It's very codependent. You're scared to be without this group, or to just like be on your own. And it's such a human thing. I don't mean to suggest that this is like not a human thing and that you're just like the worst person in the world if you've gotten sucked into this, especially for people who can admit it, right? But it's like, we got to get to what are you gaining? Because you're gaining something if you are participating in this group. And it could be status, it could be job, it could be money, it could be something here like that. But I got rid of every person who was connected to them. And you would have to. Literally every person who is a narc expert tells you that a half-safe person is not a safe person. And I think a lot of these people, they know who the abuser is. I think they're starting to know. And they understand that person's not safe, but they're like, I'm a safe person though. No, you're not. You're colluding with an abuser. So you're a half safe person, and a half safe person is not a safe person. Become a safe person and make this group safe. And then the cool people will come back. The people who know how to act, the people who you actually want to spend time with, the people who actually enrich your life, you have to choose. I think for a lot of these people, they're fence sitters, and they're like, I don't want to have to choose. And this reminded me, Martin Luther King quote, if you don't make a choice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That's like true in this social dynamic. And again, I think for some of you, this might have to do with racism or sexism, some kind of underlying ism that these people don't want to admit that they have. But when they look out and they like determine who is right or who is wrong, it was just a feeling is what I'm getting. Oh, it was just a feeling. But their feeling is because they have a prejudice. That's what I'm getting. Their feeling is that they have a prejudice. It wasn't actually their intuition. They had some type of prejudice. And for some, it's just proximity. They're in this codependent group and they're around these codependent people and they just have this proximity to this very negative energy and they just trust it because they rely on that group in some way to prop them up. So anyway, gross. These are the parents of sociopaths all. These kids in danger. I kind of agree. Somebody who's just not going to be like, knock that shit off. That is such a valuable skill in our world. And everybody hates the world that we live in to like one degree or another. But we all just, you have to like kind of hold certain boundaries. You have to hold certain standards. Keep them high and codependent. Exactly. Prejudice is an understatement along with self-deletion. Rejection is God's protection. Rejection is God's protection. Yeah. I feel like the clandestine nature of this group's like collusion is a blessing to you. Because I think you would have felt very hurt if you were a fly on the wall to these conversations and the light that you were cast in that's completely false, so that these people had the comfort of believing this narc and the whatever faux story this narc was putting out there. I think you would have been really hurt. I think that you would have been really just baffled, like how these people could believe that about you and how they could believe that about this other person. I feel like they could see this person in glowing terms, and why, I feel like you'll never know. Because I actually think it's pretty obvious that you're a good person. Pretty obvious. And that should have counted for something. And what I mean is these people should have paused, because I think these people have had an experience with you and they felt that you were a good person. And so they did owe you hearing your side of the story. I don't even think these people heard your side of the story, or not really. If they did, they just listened. They had already made up their mind that they believed this other person. And so it was just like all placating, or it was all gaslighting or something. So I don't think they will ever change. And that's why you don't go to whatever reunion they want you to go to. And that's why the reunion sucks, is because this is a group that tolerates traitors. So natural consequence. All right, that's what I have. Ooh, I love it. The Lightheart Alchemist just said journal topic. What does it mean to be civilized? I love that. I've been thinking a lot about that too, but we don't have to. I mean, I feel like a lot of us, as especially women, because we get socialized to put up with a lot of crap, and then we're just told that that's what we're supposed to do, and that we do the heavy lifting of relationships. But a lot of that is just, you get to be shitty and I just forgive you. And that's the glue that holds our relationship together. And this family or this group, whatever it is, may have that perspective. Like that I really am getting that this is a group that thought that you should have just taken the black eye just to keep the peace, and that you were in the wrong for just not taking the black eye. That's what I'm getting. And that's a fucked up perspective. And you are not safe around people who have that kind of perspective. It's quite a thing. We have this in like human nature, where somebody will watch somebody get a black eye and they'll be like, I'm sure he didn't mean it. Instead of turning to the person who gave you the black eye and be like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And this person will be like, I didn't mean to. That's fine. You could be a good person 98% of the time. This is unacceptable. Get out. And just make like this. I don't care if it's a one-time thing or if it is a classic behavior. If it happens, this person needs a very strong message and nip it in the bud. This group should have done that. Like llamas, llamas will actually like protect like their space. This group just needs to protect their space. There's a standard here, okay, of civility, of how to act. And so then we'll get off of your back. But this came out, no, absolutely not. And just really nip it in the bud. This person should have been held accountable instead of coercing you. I just heard coercive control. Instead of trying to coerce you to be okay with something that you should not be okay with. Alchemy of the Arts, thank you so much for the super chat. You're amazing, Jess. Thank you for this incredible deep dives and reading. So healing. I think it's important that safe people hold each other's hands, because the safe people are not always going to be in proximity to you, especially if like karmically somehow maybe you're linked in with these people, like you have LinkedIn, like you have to work with these people or something. And you're working your way out of it. And I feel like a lot of us have like risen our vibrations enough to where we can connect with each other like via the internet, and we can have that support to like really run this across the finish line, where it's like these people aren't going to be safe, then you're going to leave and find people. Maybe we all get to be together in a family in another life. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. The group that throws you under the metaphorical bus, but protects the awful person. Oh, they didn't really mean it. Why is he out here giving people black eyes? Nobody's asking this question? Okay. I will make true friends from this. Yes. Yay. All right. So that was pile 3. That was a long pile. Because there was a lot of damage done and then a lot of gaslighting on top of that. All right. I'm just going to refresh my lip gloss and then we're going to get some general messages. All right. General messages. All right, Spirit, what do you got? Seeker. I just heard seek and ye shall find. So I feel like Spirit is actually commending you for having this thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, because wherever they are has actually possibly led you to this desert energy where you feel parched in some way. For like Catherine, as always, thank you so much for this super chat. So Spirit is like really rewarding you. Spirit is saying, look, you followed this, some kind of wisdom. You followed some kind of uncomfortable truth. And it led you into the desert. Now, for me, the desert is usually symbolic of like Rahu. And Rahu is that north node energy. It's the destiny energy. So I feel like I'm getting goosebumps. This is Spirit's way of saying like you are on your path. But I feel like you've had to leave that south node energy. You've taken what you know for sure. Because south node is a lot of times where we do have some level of expertise. But it's level of expertise that is so baked into us and so ingrained in us that we don't necessarily consciously think about all the things that we know. So you have definitely learn something from that, and then like you are moving away. So Spirit is actually saying if you're doubting whether or not you're actually moving away from this energy, you are. Don't doubt anymore. And there is like a healer energy, but I just heard healer, heal thyself. I feel like a lot of you are a healer or you're connecting with some kind of like healing abilities, and for some I think this has to do with like the actual physical body and some kind of energy work. Yeah, you were around people that were faux healers. I think they abused you. Danielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Jess. I love how Spirit connected us on the internet. Yay. I think you were around people that were in this faux healer energy. Like they abused you, and as they were abusing you, they were telling you that they were trying to heal something, that they were trying to mend bridges, or they told themselves this. So they're in this like false healer energy, and maybe you were in this energy in the past. They're trying to make something right. They're trying to heal a bridge, but actually, no, they're not. They're taking advantage of those who need help, or they're failing to care for oneself. And they could be like failing to take responsibility in some way. So you actually have this healthy healer energy, and it's getting you around this energy as well. Passion to serve others by repairing mind, body, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. So you are taking the pain that was dealt to you and you're learning how to transform that. Spirit is also wanting you to look at what happened to you through that lens. Yes, there was a lot of pain here. And typically, like when people hurt us, there's just some level of ignorance. Like there is, and you know, that's why I'm saying like the mind is an obstacle to liberation. That's what Ramana says. But like you had to kind of get through all of that. Spirit doesn't want you to think about like the pain itself. Spirit is saying like you kind of had to experience the pain in order for you to learn the primary lesson that I think you're learning, which is how you take the pain and turn it into healing. Because as we know from like Buddhist teachings, life is suffering. There's suffering that goes on here. You're not really going to kind of get around that. But how can you be productive like in your pain? And maybe for some of you, that's why you chose to come here. And that's why you chose to take on some kind of like human incarnation. Is to experience like the limit and the lack and like the suffering that does go on here, and to try to find yourself in the midst of that and to like turn that pain into suffering. And you're doing a really good job is what I'm hearing. But then they just highlighted the word job, and then I saw you like move away from this. And I think that there may be some kind of, I just heard excellence or like, but okay. So there could be a physical, oh, I got goosebumps. There could be some kind of physical movement here, but also this is you connecting with your North Node energy, which is unlocking some kind of gifts and talents, and it's leading you to a job. I just heard, I have a job for you. Spirit has a job for you, and I'm literally getting goosebumps. So I feel like this may actually end up in some kind of like employment opportunity, like you actually getting up and away from these people. So this is a reward for leading this codependent group. And maybe you felt codependent on this group in the past, or you have your own like issues with codependency where you're like scared to go off on your own, because maybe for some of you feel like maybe it's better to be with this nasty fucked up group than to try to brave it on my own. But Spirit's like, there's something else waiting for you. And I think that you're going to be rewarded for actually like stepping away from this. And Spirit is like encouraging you and saying like, you're doing a good job. Whatever this is, it's beyond your imagination. It's beyond the logical mind with this card, because this card is all about ability to give creative expression to creative energy to a practical expression. But the shadow attribute is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. I feel like that's this group, these people that are in that faux healer energy. And it's like very manual, like what their idea of it is. Like these are people that have no respect for like, you need some time to think, you need some time to heal, that there's actually progress happening that they can't see, that you need. Like when you ask for space, they view that as stagnation because they're very mechanistic, materialistic people. If they can't get you up and around your abuser, they think that there's never going to be any amends made. So they don't really have psychological knowledge. They don't have wisdom. These people lack that. But whatever this is, like that's you connecting with your North Node. And I think this, like whatever this new, beautiful, destined energy is, it's beyond, it doesn't make sense logically. Like it's kind of the third door energy where this door is just going to open because you're kind of doing the right things. You couldn't make it happen. You couldn't induce it to happen in any other way. This is kind of a spiritual doorway that's opening up to you because you're on the right path. But you have to be in motion for this door to appear, kind of a thing. And you are now in that motion. And I just heard you're creating that momentum. So this door is like kind of going to appear, but don't get discouraged, because before you raise your energy enough, or before you get past this like certain energetic threshold, it appears like there's no door in front of you or something. But Spirit's saying, keep doing the work. This is important work that you're doing. It's genuine healing work that you are doing for yourself. And they're just encouraging you like along the way. And they're so proud of you, because I feel like you've really looked at something hard here and you've made like a difficult decision, or you're leaving this like codependent group. Shape shifting. Like this is a group that's very metaphysically talented, whether you know it or not. I kind of think that we all are as human beings, but that we can just only put obstacles in our way that block us off from that. But you're like right there. You actually have the skill of like meditating, or again, with this like energy worker, healer kind of energy. And some of you may actually be traveling or something like in your dreams, or when you sit down to meditate. And that's actually a symbol of your vibrations rising, and you shouldn't be scared of it, is what I'm hearing. Yay. Yeah, look, this is the damsel energy just came out. You are no longer waiting for, it says like waiting for a knight to provide for you, or just this group or something, or seduction by romantic illusion. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be romantic illusion. It's just seduction by illusion. It's very tempting to believe a narc fantasy because everything's tied up with a bow and it erases all nuance, and you feel certain about what you should do. But then kind of like, look what happens here. Understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. I feel like there's something here about this journey, and it's this seeker energy where you're building trust with yourself. I feel like you have an intuition that you've got to move away from some kind of toxic group, and you're building trust in your intuition, and you're building trust with yourself. And Spirit is saying, jump and the net will appear, like leap and I will catch you. This Spirit's not saying be impulsive. Spirit's not saying any of that. This is very much a process that feels organic within you. You're starting to see through energetic eyes is what I'm seeing. Like you're seeing like beyond the physical. Yeah. Queen. Like there's some kind of queen energy where you are the sovereign in your own life. And that's what you're headed towards. That's what you're headed towards in the future. This is like, you're going to be in sovereign territory here. Yeah. Because and whoever this narc is in the past, and there may be more than one, I just feel like this person becomes arrogant when their authority is challenged, and they're controlling and demanding, and nobody ever calls this person out on it. They're just allowed to be that way. And it's really gross, but you're moving away from that. Yeah. Victim. This person from your past, like I said, they become arrogant when their authority is challenged, and then they play the victim in order to receive positive feedback in the form of pity. Inability to maintain personal boundaries. This person's really good at this too. They play the damsel is what I'm getting. And this person is really this. They're arrogant and controlling. But when that doesn't work, they're very quick to take the victim stance. This is not a person, like I feel like if somebody was genuinely in the wrong and like they genuinely didn't know, I feel like this person like would have been horrified, and they would have been like very confused, and they may have actually taken like a second to kind of like process through, whatever was going on. And then they would have set about to make something right here. That's something you can kind of catch, okay? Recently in our world, the world that we share with one another, A human being, and I use that term very loosely, did a schmatzy salute on the television screen, and then you had a bunch of apologists that just pretended like they didn't know what that was. That's what people do around this person. Is this person will do something that is most definitely something that everybody knows means something. And then you've got people here for whatever reason in denial or something, and they're like, that's not what that was. I'm sure they didn't mean it. Well, that person that I'm referring to, and again, I use that term very, very loosely, that human will say, apparently people are like, that person was autistic. No. See, because autistic does not mean asshole. And usually when people are autistic or when they're genuinely in the wrong, when somebody points out that something means something fucked up, what they do is they say that they are deeply sorry. And that did not occur. So you have to ask yourself why that didn't occur. And that's what I'm getting with this person. There's that pattern here of, oh, I did something fucked up. Oh, but I didn't really mean to. Did you apologize? Because if you didn't mean to, you would apologize. Because it hurt a bunch of people. Because a bunch of us had people that fucking bled and died to stop that kind of behavior. And we don't suffer a schmatzi lightly. Nor should we be expected to. Did this person apologize? They didn't. Let me tell you that about this person. They did not apologize. Instead, they doubled down or they trolled. That's what this person did. And that's how you can tell that they're not actually sorry, that they're actually arrogant, and that they're actually full of shit. Anyways, and I don't care what your politics are, that is wrong. That's what I'm saying. Like, that is wrong. And if he was actually sorry, then why have we not heard a genuine apology? Why is there schmatzy ads going on that person's, freaking website? He's not sorry is why. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what, like, and there could be something here where it's like the overall worldview of this person is going to be shattered if they admit that actually that's fucked up. And that's what I'm saying is if you agree with that person and their politics or not, you should be able to say that was wrong. I'm going to hold you to it. Don't do that. Say you're sorry. That's what this group can't do. And I think it has something to do with like, but if I Abraham Lincoln quote, I must separate from somebody when they're incorrect. When somebody goes right, I walk with them. And when somebody doesn't go right, that's kind of the cult of the narcissist too, is that it's all about loyalty. They don't want somebody speaking the truth to them, right? And if you do, then you're public enemy number one. So if you feel that way about a person where you can't like just simply bring something up, and this is somebody you have a relationship with, okay? Because if this person doesn't know you from Adam, then they shouldn't be expected to take your advice because maybe you make terrible decisions. They don't know, you know? So, just kind of notice that where you should, like, I think there's something here where it's like, and this could have to do with family with this group or something, like, because I believe like in family, if I tell my family that they actually should act right and that nobody owes them loyalty if they're not going to act right, that they actually should be held accountable. And that's what I think. Does that mean that my whole worldview is like somewhat challenged? No, you need to point out when something's messed up, you know, and that's not what goes on here around this person. I just want to say this person didn't apologize. I think this person is trying to say like, I didn't realize that I was wrong. And they're asking you to absolve them of their sins. They're asking you when they should be asking their victim, but they're not doing that. This person hasn't apologized. It says something about them. It says something about them. Don't run from it. It says something about them. All right. The first to piece this together. Yes. So anyways, Jess should have been a lawyer. I have been told that since I was a child. And, you know, I don't know that I ever could have been because my family's like really messed up. It was hard enough for me to get my bachelor's degree. But there's a part of me that wishes I could have been a lawyer because I would just ram shit down people's throats and I would do it for all the right reasons. And it would give me so much joy. I have all this, you know what it reminds me of? It's like, I have all this energy inside of me that I don't know what to do with. And it's actually kind of like hilarious because I remember as a kid, my dad was like, I'm really surprised that you're like not more of a hothead. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, because we're Sicilian and Irish and like they're known for their hot-headed behaviors. And I could tell like by the way he was saying that he was fully prepared to raise like a hot-headed girl child and that he thought that was going to be like an actual problem. But the thing was, he was just on me like from the time that I was born so much to where like I just never really felt like I could disagree or like anything. I mean, and it was only like after I became an adult that like this natural kind of fiery energy in me started coming out and I just didn't know what to do with it. And I really had to like ask myself, like somebody was saying the thing about like, what does it mean to be civilized? Like this energy that I have, I really think that I could point it in the right direction and that it would be for the good of all things, you know, because some people need to be checked. And like, I don't think that we should feel bad about that, but it's just, you have to make sure you point it in the right direction, like, and for the right kind of causes. And that I don't think I should be scared of this energy that's like within me, because I'm still a good person. I'm still a nice person. It's just that I hate suffering fools lightly. And I do not like being told that we all just have to suffer a fool lightly to go along, to get along. I just think that it just ends up with everybody in the shitter and nobody knowing how we got there, because nobody's taking responsibility for just calling out like the bad shit, like what I was just talking about. Nobody takes responsibility for calling out the bad shit and really just demanding that is eradicated from our world. Like that should have no place here. Like, anyways. We love your passion and your power. I know that. And you guys have like really healed me because of that. And I just don't think that I was going to get that in like the culture that I was in, like where I was grown up in and the way that people kind of saw me before. And you guys have really given me an opportunity to like express this different side of myself and to be seen as a good person in doing that and to like not be afraid of it and to have that be appreciated. And for you to feel like you actually have somebody in your corner that's looking at this situation literally from like cards and just getting like energetic impressions and being like, no, you're not crazy and you shouldn't have had to put up with this. And like that, it's a comforting thing. And I know, like, you know, they say that you should become the person that you felt like you needed. And I always felt like I needed a protector. I always felt like I needed a person to just be like, cut the shit. And nobody ever did that around me. Everybody was just so tolerant of shit. And I never felt safe. And I used to be, I still am. Like I have an anxiety problem. But the reason I have an anxiety problem is because I was just surrounded by assholes and people who are asshole apologists, people who suffer fools lightly. And what that does is it makes people feel anxious because we all have to come up in this world. And if I'm being very honest, that's one of my biggest fears too, is like, okay, I believe in reincarnation. So I have to then be an infant again. And then I got to be 3 years old and I got to be 7 years old. And I'm not going to remember all the stuff that it's taken me so long to like build up now. So then you just are at the whim of like your family to raise you and to teach you these things. Well, what if they don't? Like, what if I have to learn all this again? Like, I don't want to. So, you know, I just have like a real fear about that. But that, of course, I feel anxious. Of course I feel anxious because everybody just tolerates terrible people being around. The people that I thought were older than me, the people that I looked to raise me, they tolerate bad shit in themselves. They tolerate bad shit in other people. And then you just get indoctrinated in that you're also supposed to tolerate, don't rock the boat. Because if you rock the boat, if you rock like the order, you're the fucked up one, not the person who's actually doing like the negative thing. And I just disagree. I cannot disagree harder with that perspective than I do. And if that makes me a bitch, then it makes me a bitch, I guess. And if that's a bitch, then I feel like we need more of them. I just think that we need more of them. I feel like we need more llama people that look sweet and cuddly, but that will chase off a predator. You know, I'm nice. I can be cuddly. I can create wool for our community. But if something wants to come up here, I'm gonna bite it. I'm gonna chase it off because that's natural. I'm sick of that. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Virgo rising, speaking our hearts. Yeah. But I did just want to say that I really appreciate you guys reflecting that back to me because people around me weren't gonna do it, and I wouldn't be able to have like stepped out of myself being surrounded in the energy where people I felt expected me to always be a certain way. It's that ego identity thing because I'm Jess. I'm sweet and I'm nice. And I knew that the fucked up energy that I was in would never reflect that back to me if I spoke in my strong voice. All of a sudden I wouldn't be sweet anymore just because I decided I didn't want to suffer a fool lightly. You know, and the perspective that was around me was not like somebody that was being the fool energy being like, I'm sorry, I was the fool and I expected you to just put up with that. And that's wrong. Nobody ever does that around me except for Alex. Anonymous, thank you so much for the super chat. So yeah, thanks for being a part of my tribe. I'm so glad that we're all healing together. We have candles that are for sale. I'm gonna wrap this up. So we have the Valentine's ones. Babe, do we have the other ones? I can't remember. The everyday magic candles, did we restock those? Not quite yet. Okay. But we, if you are looking for some Valentine's, we have a few of these left. The scented candles. These are big ones. Big, they're hefty, they're beautiful. They've got like the 2 wicks in them. Get them while they're hot.
They've been selling off really fast, so we won't have them for much
Okay, they've been selling off really fast, but we didn't sell out in this week, so I don't think that we're going to make another batch. So if you do want to get them, then now is definitely the time. We've got 2 of them here. So they're lightly scented, and they have kind of Valentine's Day scents. They have like lovey, romantic-y kind of scents because they're lovingly, romantically scented. So these are magic candles. They have the same high quality ingredients that a lot of you know that we use, like in the wax, in the scents. All of it is as clean as we can possibly find. And we kind of soak them, if you will, in spells that like we have created ourselves, and different mantras and different energies. And we have different kind of witchy things that we put in these in order to hold a certain intention. Obviously, witchcraft is not an evidence-based practice, but if you are a person who believes in energy work and stuff, that's what we've tried to infuse this in energy work. And then, of course, you infuse this like with, and it's the same with the everyday magic candles, with your own intentions and with your own energies. Heads up, my magic always puts a stipulation for everything unfolds for the highest and greatest good. So if you ask these candles for something that's actually not for the highest and greatest good, then I just ask that a sequence of events be put in place for you, that you understand why something's not right for you and what the better thing might be. And that you just have like a lot of assistance with that. Like in any of the candles, that's something that I like put in, because I just always admit the humility of like, not all of us know the truth of a situation, and we think that we do, or we don't always know what's best for us. So just that like extra layer of, because with magic, I always worry about sovereignty and just being very respectful that I am a person, and sometimes we get things wrong. So this pink one, it smells like tulips and roses, very Valentine's kind of scent. And this is one to break any love spells that you, or just lovey energy, controlling energy in that love kind of way, the trauma bond energy, to just kind of like break through that, just to give you a little bit of a energetic push to help you connect with your own intuition. That's what I feel like any of these magic candles, a big part of manifesting, I think the hardest part is to like get yourself from that being something in your mind to actually being in the world. And I think ritual is a beautiful way of doing that. And like just lighting the ritual of like lighting the candle, you know, this is going to last you a while, you know, so like every day or whenever you do. All of our candles also come with a card that you can write your intention on, and you can like place this under it. And you can also, one trick that I like to do with magic candles is I light it with my breath first. So I like whisper to it. I talk to it like it's my best friend. And I'm like, hey bitch, like, I was just thinking that maybe you could help me with this and that and this and the other thing. And then I just light it with my breath, and then I light it with the candles. And that's something that you can do as well. So this one is like breaking any kind of like help to like kind of break it up, helping you to process it. And then this is manifesting energy, and this smells like a delectable man. And maybe some of you are not trying to manifest in a man, and that's okay, because there's spells in here for divine masculine and divine feminine energies, and it's just really and spells to help you draw in. And if you're not ready, if there's something about your own process that's not ready, to help you get ready and to help you know what you need to do to kind of like get ready in order to vibrate on that level. But also, I even like this. I'm with my mans, like the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. I still like this because it draws in healthy masculine and healthy feminine energy towards you. Even the form of like friends and stuff, like that's one of the intentions that like is set here as well. So this is like more of a manifesting candle, and I just have both of these in my house, and I'll light one and then I'll light the other because they do have different scents to them. This one's like more of a feminine girly scent, and this one's more of like a masculine scent. And that is that. Plus these are like really awesome containers. And these are more expensive than the everyday magic candles that we usually do because they're bigger, and these containers are like $4 more than the containers that we usually do. I don't think I'm supposed to say stuff like that, but I want you guys to know that like our candles are kind of expensive, but it's because we use high quality ingredients. And so I just always want you guys to know like that's why. So we start to sell to Australia.
I mean, we can sell to Australia, but the fact of the matter is the shipping is going to be so exorbitant that it might not be worth it, just because candles are very heavy.
Because candles are very heavy.
And that makes shipping extremely expensive internationally.
Yeah.
And within the U.S., everything is kind of like regulated a little bit more, so we get like a lot more discounts and everything. But international shipping, with anything that's heavy, the shipping prices just skyrocket. Mm-hmm. So we can try, but it might be a bit ridiculous.
Will you make more of these? I don't know, because they are selling like kind of quick, but we
probably won't make more of these particular ones right now.
Yeah.
But we will probably make more maybe next year around the same
Yeah,
time.
we'll probably, because we talked about this because these containers are so expensive that we don't want to like overshoot it and then be stuck with like all of these containers. So that's why we're kind of like feeling like maybe we won't make another one. Like I think if these were selling at this pace and they were the other candles that we do, then we would probably make another batch. But I don't think we want to be stuck with these unless, how much are the candles? I don't know.
Well, those ones are $23 each.
These ones are $23 each.
Or 21?
Or 21. Yeah. So I can smell the candle fragrance. Yeah. So, and you can use these like kind of, in tandem. You can do like both at the same time. So anyways, okay, that's what I have. That's what I have, you guys. And of course, we have the scented candles. All of our scented candle collection are still in stock. So while you're doing this, if you want to get like the fresh start scent or like hedge witch, we're heading into spring or anything like that, then those are available. We're also still in the middle of winter, so like maybe a midwinter night. We have some really good scents as well. So, all right, that's an excellent price. I really think it is too, especially considering how much everything costs. Like when you start to like tally all of that stuff, it's and the candle wax that we use is very expensive because it's also sustainably grown. It's something I'm proud of. I'm proud of like.
Well, the whole thing about like the pricing is we don't make much money on these.
We really
candles.
don't.
Like if we were doing this as just like a pure profit driven thing, like we are making really stupid decisions.
Yeah.
We're doing this because it's like a nice thing to offer, and
Well, and I use these too.
Yeah.
So, it kind of makes it easier for me to be able to use this and like just be able to offer this as well. Because that's the other thing. It's like I've looked for like really high quality kind of energetic candles that I feel like kind of align with me. And I used to live in a place where there was like this witchy shop right down the road and they had house witches and you could tell them what you wanted and they would make that for you. And we want to do that too. Where we can just kind of, we're probably going to launch that here soon too, where if you don't like any of ours that we do like specifically, then you can say like, I want something specific. And I have a whole spell book and I'm organized with it now. Some of you guys remember when I pulled my little box out and I just have all my spells. I'm like, no, I actually am very organized now. So I can like go through. And we have like witchy oils and stuff that we use. So we can actually like maybe custom make something. We want to do that as well. So if you have something like really, really specific, although I do think that a lot of our candles serve like a wide range of purposes because I'm just the kind of person, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I've thought of like everything. If you're trying to like the truth serum cord cutting, I try to think about just like everything that could like be a part of that. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And just a reminder, I'm not trying to create like any kind of like undue urgency here, but these ones will probably be sold out certainly by this time next week. So, if you're considering it, I would really strongly recommend going for it this weekend because they won't be around much longer. We've already just gotten like 4 orders in just in the last 30 minutes.
Oh, okay, we already got 4 orders in the last 30 minutes, and I don't think we have that much left.
Oh, we have enough, but
okay. Well, we'll see. Okay, so they make it hard to be independent purposefully. Yeah, I kind of feel that too. It's like, it's hard to compete with something that's mass produced because they can buy their stuff in bulk and that's so helpful. But anyway, all right. Thank you guys for being with me during our Friday proceedings. And I hope that life is good to you. I know everything is like crazy now. And I just hope that you're taking care of yourself and, just I just heard being in love, just being in love with your cat or your life or whatever. Yeah. Oh, I just said, or your cat and Luna meowed. Didn't you, girl? Oh, can you guys hear that? You have anything else? Can you guys hear her? Oh my gosh. Can you say anything else? Oh my goodness. She's so talkative. Just for president. No, thank you. I'm just going to let this happen. All right. Well, I'm going to go. Okay. Bye, guys.